Hello and welcome to another episode of the Tip Balls Podcast. I'm your host, Sam Randazzo. It's Friday. The week is over. And I am joined by my two rather feisty co-hosts. To my right, it is the one, the only, Uncle Sam.
Bruce likes it black and sweet.
And to my left, it's none other than our very own Mr. Zolo, Mike Palazzolo.
Blessed.
And behind the computer, it's Bruce the Tugboat Venditti. Would you like to address the people, please?
Better yet, can you just turn the camera on so they can see your face?
Floor is yours.
Why?
Will you please
Put the
address the
camera on.
people?
Nope. Floor is yours.
The people didn't do anything to you. The people are waiting for you to say hello.
They
He's got
want
a
to
nice
see you.
smorgasbord of stuff. Over
Everybody
there. He's
wants
got
to
a triple
see you.
jam. He's got an Alani New.
Two Alani
He's got
News.
3 Alani News, 2
Wow.
different flavors, and an essential water.
Yeah, very hydrated.
It's
back
actually
there,
a
aren't you?
spirit.
And a weed pen.
No weed pen.
That's it. Drive high, get a DUI, Bruce.
Chat's popping off already today.
Okay.
Hello, Elizabeth. Leon's in the chat. Dan is in the chat wondering who would win in an arm wrestle between you and me.
Between who?
You and me.
I don't arm wrestle.
He doesn't arm wrestle, Dan. We've been over the arm wrestle.
Dan, we've been through that. That's old news.
He
Tank?
has admitted that I would beat him in an arm wrestling.
Tank, I
Yes.
did indeed get a haircut. I no longer have to wear a hat every single second of every single day. So welcome. Friday show. How was your week? High points, low points, pits, peaks.
High point of my week is Rigo's gone.
Where'd he go?
Mexico, 3 months.
The low point of my week
3
is
months?
He goes for 3 months a
he
year.
doesn't
Yeah.
come back. The low point is he doesn't come back till March.
How does that work? Does he have to work every weekend for the other fucking?
Yeah, he just does
Hey,
nothing but.
this guy works 6 days a week.
Yeah, he works 80 hours a week and then goes to Mexico. for
Fucking
3
90
months.
hours a week.
Where's he from?
Mexico.
Where though? I know you know the
Fucking
Mexican man better than
Guanajuato.
anyone.
I don't know where the fuck he's from.
Santa Poco.
Santa
All I
Poco.
know is he's like an hour and a half from Mexico City.
You go check up on the burros and all that shit.
Yeah.
So.
He's got to check on his bowls.
Got like
He's got
canal.
bowls.
Does
For
he
real
actually?
bowls. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you
I
fucking
went to,
serious?
Yeah,
I did the burros as a joke.
He
but-
sold
He's
the
got
big
bowls.
He's got those
A
small
burro
bowls,
is a
you know,
fucking
halves.
donkey. He has bowls.
Who's in Mexico for him? Like, is the full
He's
family,
got family
there?
there. His grandma's there, and he's got uncles. And,
Girlfriend.
yeah, and his girlfriend's there. I don't know which
So
one it
he
is.
goes
He's had
9
like
months
3
of
of
the
them in
year
past 4
without her.
years.
Does he
Huh?
bring her up here ever?
Absolutely not. You don't want to bring her here and Americanize her, and it'll cost him more money.
No, yeah. So the high point is that Rigo's gone.
By the
low-
way, Bruce thinks Dark Lumen is Omar.
Or
Whoa.
someone that knows Omar.
Whoa.
He told me that today.
We're
Did you
connecting
tell me
dots
that
now.
earlier?
We're connecting
Yeah, I told
dots.
you that earlier.
Yeah.
It might be Omar.
But you know what? Omar's usually at work when we're on.
Yeah. Yeah, but you have to. Okay, Dark Lumen's not in today either.
And they love
And
going
Omar
at Uncle
wasn't
Sam.
working today.
What if
So
Dark
he's off.
Lumen's Rigo and he's on the plane to Mexico City right now?
No, Rigo is taking a bus. A plane is too much money.
Whoa, 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 whoa,
And it
whoa.
would be
Rigo is
nothing.
on a bus.
It would be nothing
What?
but emojis and bonk.
Wait a second. What do you mean?
He takes
Rigo
a
is
bus all
taking
the
a
way
bus.
to fucking
He is taking
Central
a bus
Mexico.
to wherever it is he's fucking from. Yeah.
Like he's on a Greyhound from here to.
Yes. 3 days. Takes 3 days to get there.
Is
from here.
Angie giving himself up right now?
No. Angie's asking why would it be Omar? I think there's confusion on the Omar fronts. It's not their Omar. When we're talking about Omar, there's an Omar at Randazzo's.
Oh.
Omar Salinas, who's in the chat sometimes, who we may be convinced is Dark Lumen, because a lot of the California references would then begin to make sense.
I had a buddy text me. I'm not going to out him right now because he pops up in the chat every once in a while. But I had a buddy text me the other day. I really shouldn't even be saying this on air, but he.
What if Dark
he had
Lumen
us
is
on.
Leon?
From Leon.
He texted me and he goes, I have a secret about your podcast. I'm like, this is Dark Lumen. I know this.
we
is
could
Dark
have
Lumen.
Dark Lumen.
And he goes, no, I go, are you Dark Lumen? He goes, no, but I was in the shower the other day and I started sleeping with my person while listening to your podcast in the shower.
So somebody was having
to us. People have fucked to us.
they were having sex in the shower while listening to you talk in a
my
New Jersey
God.
accent.
Yeah, people have fucked to us.
That's
Dude,
I don't know
it's
if it was the
someone in the
Jersey.
chat.
I don't
That
know if
is
it was
Dark
the Jersey
Lumen's
accent.
back
Someone
now.
in the chat because they heard us talking.
It's
Now-
Tank.
You don't know if it was the Jersey accent that they use
It's
as
you,
an
Francesca.
aphrodisiac?
No, I don't know if it was the Jersey accent.
Listen to me.
episode.
Don't ever do that again.
What?
The Jersey accent. Please don't. If you do
Why?
it again, I'm walking.
I could tell you were bothered, but why?
I want to know how the fuck anybody would ever try to get something going with us talking. I would lose wood immediately. I don't
disagree.
get it.
Maybe they saw you, and then the next thing they know, it was just full stiffy, because there are a lot of the bears of the homosexual community who
That
interact
follow
with
me.
our
I know.
Instagram
I get all
because
their
of you.
fucking mail.
You would make for a great furry. Has anyone ever told you that before?
What?
A furry.
What the fuck is a furry?
They're people that have intercourse while wearing animal costumes.
But they also fuck like animals while they.
I don't need to wear a costume.
You wouldn't
I know
want to
you
wear a
don't.
full black bear suit
need
and then
to.
just also
Take
Dark
my shirt
Lumen.
Off, I am a black bear.
For
But
the
my
record-
brother says silverback
no.
gorilla.
Yeah, Dark Lumen's in the chat, and he says that he has fornicated to tip balls many a times in the shower, kitchen table, in the car. January 6th Santa is a stud. So, like I said, it's exactly right. You seem to get all of the.
What the fuck is that?
Those are furries.
Those are
Yeah, you need
furries.
to take that off there and don't ever bring it back on. Bruce,
That's you.
turn
That's
that
you
shit
right
off.
there.
Listen, you and your girl do what
That's-
you want to
that's
do.
you.
Don't put that shit
That's
on.
you.
there.
right there.
Angie's back in. If he says if you woof, it's game over.
It's game over.
You'll just send everybody to the fucking moon.
Not doing it.
Do you understand how many people are waiting for you to bark?
Can you give us a cleanup for Gadito? Just one of these for Gadito.
No, it was Mr. Cat. Mr. Cat did make it home safely.
Oh, was
Mr. Cat
missing?
escaped.
Anybody talks about my cat, they get punched in the mouth.
I'm just telling you, he
telling
escaped
you.
and made it home
Start talking
safely.
about my cat, you're gonna get fucking punched.
You're talking
I'm
to the
not
chat
talking
right now,
shit
right?
about the cat.
You're talking to the chat right
I'll
now.
talk
right?
shit
Just
about
letting
your
y'all
cats
know.
all day. Cats
Letting
fucking
y'all know.
suck.
In what world
fucking
am I talking
Rat
shit?
Zone was talking shit and almost got fucking shit slapped out of him.
I saw that.
We've
you
already
got,
had.
Jen,
No,
you
he
got
got the
pissed
fucking
at
cats.
choice.
I'm not
he
talking
got the right or the left.
I'm
He
not
got the
talking
choice.
shit about
Which
the
one
cat.
do you want? Right or left?
I have never once talked shit about the cat.
And by the
I
way,
support the cat.
We've already had tipped cats. We
Yes,
went through your
we've gone
cats.
through all
we
the
went
cats
through what they're
here
fed.
Yeah.
We've done it. We went through Gadito.
Telling you. Rat Zone was talking that shit. And
well,
almost got shit
Bratone's not
slapped
here.
out of him.
This is a safe
Go
space
ahead.
for you to discuss the cats.
What?
No,
It's a safe space.
No, he's
for you to
good.
discuss the
He's
cats.
good.
Cats fucking suck.
He's good. Hey, he's become
Bruce
my
is talking shit about your cats.
who?
Bruce just talks some shit. He said cats fucking suck.
Bruce, you better not even go there because I'll start throwing some shit out here that you don't want to come out.
You know what's awesome?
Dark Lemon. Zolo, how was
Okay.
your week? High points, low points, pits, peaks.
It was
Don't
good.
do that.
It was good.
Don't
I got
fuck
some
with my
stuff
cat.
done professionally, and I'm ready for the weekend.
Motherfucker, I
We're
will come over
moving
there
on.
and fucking
We're
kick
moving
that
on.
computer right off that table.
And then you owe him money, not me.
I don't give a
Moving
fuck.
on.
What?
We're moving on. I'm asking Zolo about his week. You guys are sitting here fighting about the cat.
Listen to me. See, all I told him was shut the fuck up. Starts talking shit, I'm gonna fucking throw some real shit out there. And I don't know if she watches or not, but you won't want to have that on here, bud.
Anyways, how was your week?
It's good. I'm happy it's over. I'm happy to be here.
You said you had some good things professionally.
Yeah, I had some. I've had a streak of unproductive days, and I was productive this week. I got some stuff done that put me.
Motherfucker, I should have called him.
For what?
I don't book bus tickets to Mexico.
No. He
fuck.
needed flights to Mexico.
Oh yeah.
You trying to send your cats down there?
Anyways, okay. Moving on. We covered everybody's week? Right?
This is the thing. Is this could actually be a thing? Is we've overthought the fuck out of this so much because. I think I incepted you guys by saying no, it came from a text that I sent out. I think it's someone on my end. And now we got all these theories. We got other accounts now. We got Dark Cumin, Light Lumen. We got all this shit going on, and that's totally plausible. But I don't know. Like I'd have to go back and look at all the comments, and I'd have to piece we need to hire forensics to piece this together.
I think it's awesome, personally. I don't know who he is, but you know what he needs to do? I want Dark Lumen to take pictures of his Schwanson and send it to Bruce.
It'll be shared right to you.
I'm surprised that YouTube still lets us do this every day. Bruce, you have a good week? You made it through a full week of work.
Yeah,
This is
how
your
was
first
it?
official
I
full
want to know
week of
what your
work.
opinion was.
Full week.
No, last week.
Full week. You didn't.
No,
you
full
started
week.
Tuesday
This
or
was a full
Wednesday.
one.
Tank, what kind of pizza?
This was 5 solid days. How was it?
Is it really?
Well, 5.5.
You worked 5 full days for the first time in years. It sucked.
Sucked.
Why? You don't like waking up at 6 in the morning and seeing that every day?
Well, see, the thing is, I don't wake up at 6. I wake up at 5,
Good.
and I don't see him for 2 hours.
Maybe the early wake ups will allow you to grow some hair on your testicles nowadays. It'll be good
I
for
used to
you.
wake up at 5 every day before I worked.
Then what?
Where do you think I went?
To the gym. To the
Absolutely.
gym. Are we convinced? Dark Lumen might just be Dark Lumen.
But if you live in San Francisco, there's a chance that you're trans. That's the problem. Do you live in San Francisco, or are you in the Bay Area?
When you just said trans, I thought you were talking about transsexual, not that he was moved from somewhere else to San Francisco.
no, a transsexual.
Oh.
Because he's referencing Uncle Sam. He's saying Uncle Sam always calls me trans, which Uncle Sam is not referencing transit. He's referencing a tranny. And Dark Lumen lives in San Francisco, so it's possible because it is a fucking shithole there.
Understand now. Okay, I'm adding all this up now. Anyways, okay. There was a Thursday night football game last night, if we want to refer to it as a football game, because it wasn't much of one. That we need to go over.
I never said anything about that.
About what?
Whatever's being written up there. Who's Jose Santa?
Jan 6 Santa. He calls you
that?
January 6th Santa.
That's what he calls me?
Dark Lumen thinks you were there in D.C. on January 6th.
I think it's somebody we know.
Listen, if I was there, I would have been next to that dude who works for the FBI telling everybody to raid the place.
You want to know something?
Yeah.
And as much as he's trying to sell this right now, look at the chat and what do you notice from today? Start at the top.
There's no
Start at the top. Who was there and disappeared and then Dark Lumen came?
Dan.
Dan.
But Angie too.
No, Angie's in here with Dark Lumen.
Lumen and Dan have been in here at the same time.
Dan, if you're still here, I want you and Dark Lumen to both get in the chat right this second. Anyways, we had a football game last night that wasn't really much of a football game. We'll get January 6th Santa's thoughts on that here shortly. We have to go over a huge weekend of football with tons of playoff parameters. We're going to, obviously, it's Friday, so we will very gladly be doing Playoff Machine again. But first, we've got to start off with the news because there is quite a few pieces of news to go over today. So
Hold on.
let's go to the news.
How are you going to deliver it?
And what could be the biggest piece of long time coming news that we have literally been discussing on this show since its inception? We're going back 2 years ago when it was me and him talking about honestly, this might go back to when Garrett was here, that Brennan Staley should have been fired.
No, it didn't go back that far.
I think it goes back that far.
No.
This is 2 years in the making for me. Truly, I think I've been calling for this man's head for 2 years. And last night, he got down on all fours, voluntarily stripped off his pants, and let the Las Vegas Raiders do whatever they wanted to his football team. Then after that, had the audacity to get in front of a microphone and say that after he was down 42-0 at halftime, he still deserved a shot to be this team's head coach. Finally, the Los Angeles Chargers have relieved head coach Brendan Staley of his duties.
And the GM.
I don't give a shit about the GM. Who
Tom
gives a fuck?
Telesco.
At the end of the day, this is something that we thought should have been done in the offseason, that I thought was going to be done by week 4 of this year. If they would have done it earlier in the season, they might have been able to salvage something. This was just last night I knew it. As soon as I was at dinner, I got home, I turned the game on, it was 42-0, and I said, tomorrow morning he'll be gone. Without question, I don't know how you take a team with that much fucking talent
That's horrible.
and squander it for this long. He has done nothing but hold them back as a coach. I don't think there's no redeemable qualities for me with Brendan Staley. It was an unholy matrimony that's finally over, and he went out in the most grandioso fashion by getting absolutely fucking asshole punched by the Raiders last night, 63-21.
That was bazooka punched.
Bazooka punch to the ass.
Yeah, that wasn't even. That was bad.
They asked Kellen Moore to be the interim head coach, and he declined.
Oh damn! Who's reporting that? I didn't see that.
I saw it. It was from a couple hours ago. He didn't want the remainder of the Chargers season to affect his chances of becoming a full-time head coach next year.
I think that's smart.
Yeah, I mean, because what is there to salvage for this season?
There isn't anything at this point.
I mean, there's nothing.
Their quarterback's out for the rest of the year. Mike Evans is out. Keenan Allen's a big question mark. That's half your offense right there.
Yeah, I mean, if Keenan doesn't play, there's nothing left to go. The other thing is his usage of Austin Eckler so far this year. I mean, granted,
atrocious.
Austin Eckler hasn't had a great year, but he's such a big talent. You've got to try and get him going. And the fact that fucking Isaiah Spiller is getting more carries, no knock to Isaiah Spiller, but you have a top guy there at the running back position, and you have done nothing to get this guy going. When
you start doing shit like that, you're basically telling Austin Eckler you're out the door, and you're going to see what you got in a younger player. I mean that's just at this point of the year, I kind of get it, but I kind of don't. If you got your best chance of winning on the sidelines, you're cutting your own throat.
You have to remember this. They didn't just lose last night. There was history that went along with this loss. It was the second largest halftime deficit in NFL history to be down 42-0. The only team that put up more, that it was a bigger deficit in the first half, was the Titans against the Patriots, where the Patriots put up 45 in the first half in 2009. So
I can remember a time the Lions, when they were playing the Patriots, and the Patriots put 21 on them before midway through the first quarter.
Well, yeah, but I mean, and this is the other thing, and this is what to me made it so fireable, right? That 2009 Patriots lead over the Titans 45-0 at the half. That was with Tom Brady at the helm. The third one was the Packers up on the Bears 42-0 in 2014. That was with Aaron Rodgers at the helm. You had to stop Aiden O'Connell. Josh Jacobs didn't play.
Aiden O'Connell got shut out last week, by the way.
It was, yes, the same quarterback who lost a 3-0 football game 4 days prior. Was 4 touchdowns with a 130 passer rating in the first fucking half. My God, thank you. It's finally over. Justin Herbert gets to start out next year with a new head coach, hopefully a fresh slate.
And they can move the Chargers to Mexico City.
Maybe they'll tear this thing down a little bit.
With Rigo.
Trim some of the fat.
That's why Rigo went down there.
Rigo will be a big Charger guy. But I think another big part of this story is, and we'll talk about it when we get into the game, but what an exclamation mark for Antonio Pierce. Because this Raiders team was a team that everybody thought as soon as the Josh McDaniels thing went down, they were going to be in kind of a spiral the rest of the year and be irrelevant. And I get it. This Chargers team was as down bad as a football team, NFL team.
You know what? That team has rallied around him. And it's obvious that the guys on that team did not want fucking Josh McDaniels there.
And guess what? They didn't let up. They had this game bagged after the first quarter and did not let up.
He was caught making a statement I want you to put the foot on the gas at this point. That was coming into the third quarter. He wanted them to put the foot on the gas and really put it away. And they did.
Some other news. We supposedly today, Aaron Rodgers was playing on the scout team defense for the Jets and intercepted a pass.
I believe it. He's an athlete.
I can't tell if it's fake or not.
It seems like it's
But
real.
no one's refuting it, and it's Rich Cimini, who's one of their number one beat writers, who's been following the team for over 2 decades, is the one that tweeted it, and no one's refuted it. No one said this isn't real. So,
some other news: the Buccaneers have cut 3rd-round pick Keyshawn Vaughn. At this point,
Has he even played?
I don't know. He hasn't played much this year, but you know what? He had some moments last year and the year prior where he actually looked pretty good.
I think it was the year prior, before they brought in, what's his name?
Rashad White.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he has looked good. He'll end up on somebody's team. He'll end up somewhere. I think so.
Maybe.
Texans have issues going into this week. Obviously, Tank Dell out for the year. C.J. Stroud doubtful for this week's game, and that would mean your Lord and Savior, Davis Mills, will be getting the start at quarterback. But
now, let me ask you a question. If Davis Mills comes out and lights it up and they win convincingly, do you go back to Stroud?
Oh, 100%. Jesus Christ. Why you got to do shit like that? But the other thing is Nico Collins is officially out. So now you're missing Tank Dell and Nico Collins. Look for a big game from Bobby Trees. But I just don't. I think, unfortunately.
What about Mechie? John Mechie?
John Mechie might finally get his chance here.
I was huge. Finally get his shot at.
See, I thought John Mechie was going to be the Tank Dell. Like, I thought he would jump into that role this year. So hopefully he does get his moment because, he was the one that everybody talked about.
They got some guys there that can ball. They do.
They do.
So, you know what? This is going to give these other guys that haven't been able to hit the field a chance here.
1,000%. And hopefully he does. Isaiah Pacheco had a quote-unquote shoulder cleanup this week, and he will be out against the New England Patriots this weekend.
Interesting.
Continuing to further my philosophy that we will very gladly talk about here shortly. The Chargers interim coach is outside linebacker coach Griff Smith.
What kind of name is that?
Griff Smith. And their interim GM is JoJo Wooden.
You just made those names up.
I did not make those names up. Griff Smith is the interim head coach. JoJo Wooden, interim GM.
I would have said Dick Bubkiss. Would you have thought that was a maiden name?
Yes, but it's not.
Do you really think Kellen Moore's got a shot at a head coaching job?
Yes.
I don't.
He can't be
I don't.
stable offensive coordinator.
Yeah, I don't think he does.
They let him go in Dallas.
I've been
Basically,
silent.
he's got his coach fired.
I've been silent right now for 2 reasons. Number one, because we've already talked about Staley ad nauseum, and I think this is just like we've talked about him being fired. It's just the when is the only topic of conversation. I also went through all the teams, and I have it estimated that at most 10 jobs are going to be open. I'll run you through them.
Ooh.
The Bears, which probably won't be open.
Probably.
No, I don't think Eberflus is going anywhere.
The Commanders is going to be open.
Commanders will be open.
Possibly.
The entirety of the NFC South, I think the Panthers are obviously open. It remains to be seen on the other 3 because they're all in it right now.
I think New Orleans is locked.
It's going to get fired, or he's going to keep.
I think New Orleans will keep his job, and I think Arthur Smith will keep his job.
Division winner keeps his job.
Division winner keeps his job. I think if the Bucs don't win the division, Todd Bowles is out.
Regardless, Bucks. We're including the Bears. We're including Bucks, Panthers, Falcons, Saints. AFC, the Patriots. We're operating under the assumption.
Mm-hmm.
The Bills potentially. I don't think he's going to get fired.
I think if they don't make the playoffs and they go out ugly,
yeah.
I think he could lose his job.
Agreed. Right now, I don't think that's happening, though. The entirety of the North is going to keep their jobs. The entirety of the South is going to keep their jobs. Maybe Doug Peterson, there's a chance, but I doubt it. He's a good coach.
I don't think he will.
Last but not least is obviously Raiders-Chargers, which are both open already.
I think Antonio Pierce keeps that job. I do. I don't think they make the same mistake twice.
They're going to interview people, though, because they,
Yeah,
they
they
have,
have
to
to.
do due diligence.
Correct.
They have to. That was the law, the rule they set in after, who was it? The Detroit debacle, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the
Back in the day.
D coordinator, I can't remember his name, Jim Caldwell's D coordinator, who got an interview every year and didn't get the job. Real quick, though, again, I have it at 10 teams. I'll run you through them one more time. Bears, Commanders, Bucks, Panthers, Falcons, Saints, Patriots, Bills, Raiders, Chargers. Out of those teams, and I can go through the list again, which job do you think is the most enticing? What do you think is the best job on the market out of those teams?
I actually think the Chargers.
Well, I missed
is
the. Did I say the
enticing.
Commanders? I did say the Commanders.
was Tampa Bay on your list?
Yeah, Tampa Bay's on the
In
list.
my opinion, Tampa Bay.
Okay, I'm with you. I think the
I think the
Chargers.
Chargers.
Here's the problem. Whoever they it does matter that they fired their GM Tom Telesco because they fired him for a reason. Whoever is inheriting that job from a management standpoint is walking into one of the worst positions in football at the moment because they're projected to be about $40 million over the cap next year. If they cut Mike Williams, Khalil Mack, aging veteran, who's obviously leads the league in sacks. He's had a great year. Joey Bosa, and then there was one more name I can't remember. But if they cut 4 of those guys, they would instantly become $40 million under the cap. So there's a chance that this transitions into a rebuild. It depends on how the Chargers play
cut
this.
Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa,
Mike Williams,
and who else?
There's a 4th
Honest to
guy that
God,
was on that list.
Honest to God, in a similar move to what I think Tampa's going to do with Mike Evans, if you could move on from Keenan Allen, this is the point where I think you do it.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed.
But I think he's still under contract, though, no?
Yeah, but
I
you
think
could
you
trade
turn
him.
this
You could
job-
turn him into a lot of assets.
I think if you inherit this job instead of forcing it like Tom Telesco did the last couple of years and now you're over the cap, I think you turn this into a rebuild. I think you knock the
Yeah,
whole
but
thing
I don't
down.
think he did a bad job putting this team together. I really don't.
I guess not.
I mean,
Yeah,
maybe
you could,
cap-wise, it wasn't a smart
you
thing
could
to
say
do.
it's coaching, but history tells us and everything tells us that these are aging vets now, and that they're going to age their way out of these contracts if they're not already. Obviously, Khalil Mack
But
is
if
the
he
is
brought
the
in a
exception.
competent coach, look at the roster he would have had.
Okay, you're still $40 million over the cap though for next year. I'm talking about next year. This year it's
Well,
over.
I mean, the
This
same thing
year's already in
happened with the
rearview mirror.
Rams. And you seen they got out of it.
Well, look how they got out of it. They had to get rid of and shed a lot,
Yeah.
and they had to trade a lot, and then
But they
got
did keep their
draft assets.
mainstays. They kept their mainstays.
Yeah, and they also weren't able to add draft assets because
Right.
they traded a lot away for Jalen Ramsey. They traded a lot away for
Right.
Matthew Stafford. They traded a lot away to make it happen. Von Miller, same drill. So I think the
And,
Chargers are the most
they
appetizing
traded all them
job.
picks away. Then they had like 13 picks last year.
Yeah, and they're good. They're good picks.
And they're actually good.
They're good picks. Listen, I think the Chargers are the best job. I think the Commanders are a distant second, pending what happens in the South. But I also think the Chargers are more of a rebuild than you think because you're going to extend Herbert. They already extended Herbert.
They already
right?
extended Herbert.
They already extended Herbert. At this point, you got your quarterback. You're going to build around him for the next couple years.
Correct.
So that's
But
what I would do.
Here's the thing that worries me about that. They've already done that. You had 2 receivers that were probably top 10 at one point, and they were unable, and a defense that on paper should be top 5.
You have a
not.
monster teardown there. You've got to get rid of everything.
I think it's a tear down more than people think. People
Yes.
look at it like, oh, look at
You
all
got
the
to send
talent.
Derwin James on his way. Let him go. Let him go to a competitor.
You
like
can't keep Boza and Mack.
correct. The
can't
only
keep both of
person
them.
that stays is Herbert.
It's Herbert.
You build the whole team around Herbert, and you tear the entire thing down. You capitalize, get all the picks you can. You have to.
You're not going to pay Eckler, and he's in his
Mac.
Khalil Mack.
Yeah.
Khalil Mack gets paid almost $30 million
That's the
Yeah,
problem.
and he hasn't done shit.
No, he leads the league in sacks.
He
this
leads the
year.
lead in Yeah, he had the year. This would be the time where you could capitalize on trading him. Is right now.
Hey, before you make comments like that, actually look at.
Actually,
You also have.
You wanna- you wanna
I'm
say
telling
something?
you,
Hold on.
I watch the games and I don't see his.
You want to? Well, do you think Joey Bosa's lived up to anything?
No.
No, he's been awful.
No, his brother's
I
been
would
way
keep
better
Mack
than
and dump Bosa.
I get rid of all. of them.
They're both making about the same money.
Listen, this is and here's the thing: when teams are going to get rid of the entire coaching staff and the GM,
It's
this-
a teardown.
You have to. This is the problem when they try and keep. Oh, we're gonna get rid of this guy, but we're gonna keep this guy. That shit doesn't work. Okay, you have to tear it all the way down to nothing. Blow it up, get everything you can, and start over. Because otherwise, you end up with a situation like you have with the Buccaneers right now, where you lost your quarterback and you got rid of a couple of guys who were getting paid a lot of money, but you kept Mike Evans, and now Mike Evans doesn't want to be there, and you're a 6-7 football team. And that's what the Chargers will be if they don't tear it all the way down. And I firmly believe that. Now, one thing I want to go to, we went right from the news into the show, so fuck the news. But this coaching carousel thing, teams that I could see actually getting a new head coach, like seriously. Obviously, okay, so the givens are Carolina and the Chargers. New England, I think, is going to have a new head coach. I think the rumors are true. I think that's going to happen. Depending on what happens the rest of the year, I could see Tennessee with a new head coach.
Nope.
Yeah,
I'm not even
I
debating
don't
that.
see that.
I'm not even debating that.
Wait a minute.
He's a top 10 coach in football.
Hold on.
It's not that. There's
not
a
that.
lot of rumors swirling right now
Oh, he goes to New England?
that he's leaving.
That he goes to New England?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, but why?
Let me
would
ask you two a question. You could answer it too. Which situation would you rather have? Would you rather walk into New England or would you rather walk in to Nashville today? Which one of those two teams would you rather be the coach
Nashville
of?
all day.
I would rather walk in New England
Nashville.
Nashville.
because, right? Okay, here's the thing about Nashville. Yeah,
They're in a rebuild too, Nashville, but they still haven't tear it down. Henry's got to be gone. You're going to have other pieces gone.
That's it.
Yeah,
I disagree. That's
look
it after Henry.
Okay, you're starting to get the dead bottom in New England.
Well, and you're going to have the second pick in the
And that's
draft.
why I wouldn't want to go there.
And the second pick in the draft.
Because you have to go get your quarterback right now on paper. It's looking like the Titans have their quarterback. They have 2 wide receivers. They have a running back in Tajay Spears. They need a couple offensive linemen, and they already got the defensive-minded head coach. On top of that, it's great ownership. It's a franchise that he's had success with. In fact, he ended Tom Brady a couple years ago, Vrabel. And then on top of that, they're getting a new stadium. They're getting a brand new stadium, and they're getting a ton of money influence. And it's Nashville. It's one of the 5 hottest places to be in this country
Got
right
New
now.
England, got all them Super Bowls, all the history, a great owner.
That's the only thing I think that's redeeming about the Patriots.
And if you're
how
Mike
long you
Is
Vrabel,
you're walking into a
you're
decent
Mike
ownership
Vrabel.
situation.
You've won Super Bowls as a New England Patriot.
I think
you don't think if that job was offered to him that he would take it?
I think if he gets offered,
I think he'd consider it, but he has built and is on course to continue to do something. But yet, given the context, I'm not arguing. Given the context that he played there, he'd consider it. If I'm Mike Vrabel, you're fucking crazy to leave that job.
Well, and the other thing is, I think a lot of this going into the Patriots coaching hire, it's going to be Robert Kraft kind of handing the torch off to his kid. And I think that if Vrabel goes there, they're going to, if only if it's Mike Vrabel, but they'd give him Belichick type reins where him and
getting
Kraft's
rid of a
son
guy-
would collaborate, and they would be the grand poobahs of everything.
I don't think they're going to do
You're
that.
getting rid
I
of
don't.
a
I think
guy-
they're going to bring in someone. Go. So I cut you off.
Getting rid of a guy and bringing in the same system guy.
Yes, but it's not the system
It's
that's
not.
flawed.
It's not. Mike
what's
Vrabel is
flawed-
not Bill Belichick.
This is you want my full philosophy on the page. We never really broke down the Belichick firing, supposed firing. Maybe
it's not
No.
a firing. He's
Mutually parting of ways.
Yes.
You want to know who the Patriots no longer want? And I've been saying this now for 2 years. They don't want the GM Bill Belichick. The coach Bill Belichick, I don't think there's a problem with. The GM that is Bill Belichick is awful and has let them down. Multiple drafts in a row, multiple free agency periods in a row, multiple whiffs on every. When's the last good Patriots draft pick? You can literally go through the list. You can't find
Christian Gonzalez this year.
This is one. Yeah, one.
For that reason, I don't think they're going to give the upcoming coach, unless it's some fucking legend. I don't think that they're going to give whoever they get to coach creative control. I just don't. I don't see it happening. I think they're going to hire.
You think they're going to bring in a GM?
Yeah, because that's what's gone south the last couple years.
Yeah, but it was
and
so
that's what's
good
gone
for so
south.
long.
The satellite versions of it have gone even further south.
That is true.
except for The Titans, but I'm with you. I don't think Vrabel. I think Vrabel's just a guy that played for Belichick. I think his coaching influence. I think if anything, Vrabel's significantly more Urban Meyer than he is Bill Belichick. I think that's where more of his influence comes from, is Urban Meyer than Bill Belichick. That's just my opinion. You guys could shoot it down all you want, but when I see Vrabel, the intensity, it's different. Vrabel's a guy that his players want to play for, and it's not that Belichick isn't, but they had a system. And I don't know if I'm Vrabel, if I'm leaving what I currently have going to go and try and rebuild the wheel. That
I think we're going to see John Gruden as a head coach.
Was just thinking that for the Patriots. Yeah. I'm
thinking if the Patriots move on, they're going to want to move on with somebody that has experience, that's been there, that knows how to coach football. I believe it could be John Gruden.
I thought he was going to coach college somewhere.
And I thought John Gruden.
I think it'll be John Gruden. There's
a
lot of shit coming out right now. Gruden is suing the NFL.
I think Gruden makes sense for a team with a good owner, too. I think the NFL will let it happen if they have an owner that could keep him in check. I think that's where Gruden would make sense. And I'm not saying Belichick I'm not saying Bob Kraft would make John Gruden adhere. Like, I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying Robert Kraft's this crazy hands-on guy. He's the perfect owner, though. He's perfectly hands-on when he needs to be. He's perfectly influencing when he needs to be, but he could trust the people that he put in power to run the team to run the team.
And he's done that for decades, so not like he doesn't know what to do.
I cut you off 5 minutes ago and you were on some crazy tangent, and I apologize for that. On
Stop
Vrabel
apologizing. We don't care.
Okay.
It's what the people want.
This is my. You guys I don't give a shit. Here is my. Somebody said the off-camera guy is making mouth noises that the fucking mic is picking up. So stop making mouth.
And
noises.
I haven't made any noise.
Anyways,
I think that was when I was trying to say something.
That could be Bruce's hands underneath the table.
Yeah, Bruce is over there stroking his meat. Anyways, the Belichick thing. I think it's time.
You guys get me going. What can I say? Sorry.
I think it's time. Are we done?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's time that he leaves. I think he's going to end up, obviously, I don't think he's done. I think he'll end up somewhere else.
Where do you see Belichick?
Okay, in a weird twist,
Chargers.
I could see two destinations.
Commanders.
I see retirement.
Go ahead.
Can I throw something at you that I think might be a little bit even more wild that I saw one single Patriot beat reporter talking about on Twitter, and that's what influenced my Tennessee thing?
Go ahead.
A trade between the Titans and the Patriots, which is a swap for Belichick and Vrabel with picks.
Who gets the picks? The Patriots?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Why?
Okay, because this is the thing. As good as we think Mike Vrabel is, all right, we're 5 years down the line and Tennessee hasn't really won anything, okay? And they've obviously I think the core of the reason was Tannehill. I don't think it was Vrabel, but there could be a sense of tiring with Tennessee. And if you have the chance to go out and get the best coach that's ever coached in the NFL, you do it. And if New England needs to move on and they want it to bring in a familiar face to do it, I think that makes sense. If that does not happen, I think that the job that makes the most sense for him, to me personally, would either be the Chargers or if Tampa Bay got rid of Todd Bowles, which I think they're going to do at the end of the year. If they don't win the division, I could see him going to Tampa.
Yeah, I'm with you on Tampa.
Bill Belichick?
Bill Belichick going to Tampa.
I think he's going to end up
You think he's pulling a
with the
Tom?
Commanders. I think he's going to end up in Washington. I think he's got the Maryland background. He
All
coached
right, I
at
got
Navy.
one
He's
question.
a huge Navy guy.
It's going to sound stupid. At what point do the Dolphins move on from Tua Tagovailoa and Tom Brady comes in there and makes his little 1 year retirement thing gone?
It's done.
You don't think it's going to happen?
No.
Tom Brady's done, yeah.
It's done.
And they're not.
I'm just asking, just because that asshole that owns the Dolphins,
It didn't work. It's over.
it got exposed before it happened.
The pipe dream's over.
We'll talk in
It
about
would've
2
happened
months.
already if it was going to happen.
We'll talk in about 2 months, but I think Belichick ends up in Washington first. Second, I think the Chargers. And if Todd Bowles gets fired, I'm with you. I think Tampa's a great spot for Belichick. Number 3. I'm with you there.
I think Tampa makes a ton of sense for him.
I do think it's Washington.
Mike Williams wants out.
The other thing The other thing I'm going to say,
I know this sounds off the wall. Is there a chance that Robert Saleh gets fired out of New York?
no,
And Bill Belichick winds up there?
Small, don't think so.
no. This is okay. Bringing this full circle so we can move on. The teams that I think will have new head coaches next year are Carolina, Washington, New England, the Chargers, and possibly Tennessee. Tennessee is a possibly. Chicago is a possibly.
There's going to be more. There's always it
and
falls
one
into
of the
like
NFC
8
South
range.
teams.
It falls into like
somebody's going to get fired you don't expect to get fired.
Yeah, always. It happens every year.
Whether it's Sean McDermott.
Yeah.
I don't think it's
Arthur Smith if he
Arthur
chokes.
Smith.
Yeah. I don't see Arthur Smith either. The one that I see out of the South is Tampa and Carolina, and then the Patriots, the Chargers.
You know, I was hearing a rumor that the Seahawks might want to move on from Pete Carroll.
I mean, that would just.
I've been hearing that.
When I was doing the list, I thought about it for a quick
Yeah.
second. Totally
That
plausible.
if they get bounced early, they don't make the playoffs this year, it's possible he could be gone.
Totally plausible,
What?
but if I were to
that
bet on it,
last
I don't
year.
think so though.
No, that's what the fucking chatter is out there. That if the Seahawks
Chatter
don't
in
make
the
the
scow.
playoffs, that he could possibly lose his job.
Okay. Let's move on. Last night's game. We're not spending any time on this. Las Vegas absolutely fucked the Chargers 63-21. Aiden O'Connell had a really nice game. Jacoby Myers had a touchdown pass and a touchdown reception. Devontae Adams had a touchdown reception. Michael Mayer had a touchdown reception. Trey Tucker had 2. Zamir White and Brandon Bolden both ran one in. It was nothing but an onslaught of scoring for the Raiders. The Chargers scored a third quarter touchdown and 2 in garbage time after the Raiders had pulled everybody out. It obviously cost everybody in the Chargers organization their job. Easton Stick got 2 fucking garbage time touchdowns, and that was really all there was to report. Are we good there, or do you want to add anything? You want to give a report on?
I turned it off at the half. I couldn't tell you.
Okay, and I think
Slobber knocker.
all the rumors we were talking about on Wednesday of Aiden O'Connell being gone, I think he saved his
told
job.
him today.
I think he saved his job.
The context is key. I think the context is key, and we have to think about what was going on and that everything was just going their way and all that. But yeah, I mean that's a good step for Aiden O'Connell. I think at a minimum he's secured himself a
saved
second
his
start.
job.
Well, he got himself a big win. He had a good game, got some experience, and that's what he needs.
Oh, and he's not the long-term answer there, by the way.
No,
That's
I don't-
another.
No.
They're a team that's
Although
totally
he's
going to be in the
played
hunt
very
for a
well,
quarterback.
I don't think he's the answer there either.
Okay. Shall we
Shall
go into the picks?
we?
Shall we? You know, out of all of those, that's my favorite one.
Which one? The one that's just of my face?
The prime aviators.
The prime.
It's you guys, like all of you, and then you with the prime shades on.
Do I look like Coach Prime now?
He hates them.
Who? You don't like my Coach Prime glasses?
I don't give a
What about the
You don't like
fucking
Coach
Jersey
Prime?
accent?
What
Why don't you like Coach Prime?
do you mean? I've always been a Deion Sanders guy, dude. Always.
Are you sure?
Oh, yeah.
Not if you don't call him prime. You're
It
not.
does give me a headache
Can
wearing
you put them
down
on?
there, though.
Can you wear them?
Yeah, will you wear them?
No.
You can use these
Why
instead
not?
of the Milwaukee
I don't want
glasses.
Just for 5 seconds.
Fuck off.
I'll put
'em
my
on,
hairline on
faggot.
camera if you put those on.
You put them on.
I will. I'll happily put those on.
Anyway, we do our picks.
Jesus Christ.
What? Oh, did I say that? I'm sorry to all you.
Apologize to
Burglars
Lumen. He
out
lives
there.
in San Francisco.
I'm sorry.
Anyways, moving on. The first game
Turd burglar?
of Week 15 is going to be the Saturday at 1 p.m. matchup. We got 3 Saturday games this week. Saturday at 1 p.m., the Minnesota Vikings and Nick Mullins are heading to Cincinnati to play Jake Browning and the Bengals. Cincinnati's a 3-point favorite in this game. I think with the unknown of Nick Mullins going forward, we don't really know what to expect out of him.
And Justin Jefferson is questionable.
Justin Jefferson
Mattson
told
is out.
Does it even matter?
Am I right?
Mattinson is
Mattinson's
out.
out.
Justin Jefferson told reporters he will play.
Okay, I'm taking Cincinnati and what is it again?
40.5.
I'm taking Cincinnati in the over.
You're going over in this.
Over.
One, eh?
Over.
Zola?
Cincinnati to win, Cincinnati to cover. I like the under, and I like Joe Mixon anytime. I'm going to be throwing in some anytimes to
Ooh, you are,
to
eh?
all these games today. Yeah, I need to get the bettors listening to this a little more.
I'm not going to lie here. If I had to pick an anytime for this game,
It's going to be Jamar Chase.
it wasn't going to be Jamar Chase. On the
Higgins?
contrary, TJ Hawkinson is going to be my anytime here because if Minnesota gets the ball into the red zone, I think Mullins, especially if Chase is or if Jefferson is not 100%, even if he's playing,
Right.
I think he's going to look for Hawkinson as his out. I'm going to be honest with you here. I got to stick with Cincinnati right now. I liked what Jake Browning has
I do
done.
too.
Even though I talked a lot of shit,
I'm going to keep on with him till they fall.
stay on the hot hand.
Yeah, they're in it.
What about your little white boy? Is he going to get a touchdown?
Trenton Irwin?
Trenton Irwin? Are you going Trenton Irwin?
Trenton Irwin anytime.
No, because all their receivers are pretty healthy. So I don't think Trenton Irwin. He might have a punt return here or there, but
He doesn't
I
have the
don't-
rapport with Browning as he does with Joe Burrow.
no, did you notice that? Trenton Irwin got that rapport with Burrow.
I thought you were going to say he has that dog in him, but
He does have that dog.
perfect time for it.
Yeah, I'm going to take Cincinnati -3 in this one, and I'm going to take the over in that 40.5 as well. The only thing that worries me is if Minnesota comes out and goose eggs like they did last week. But I just think this game's going to have some points.
Real quick on the under, this is why I disagree with you guys. I think it's not going to have points because they are going to not quite goose egg, but they're going to look pretty bad. I think that was more a function of the offense last week as opposed to it being a function of bad quarterback play. I think no matter who the quarterback is, Minnesota's going to struggle to score points, and they're going to struggle to move the ball. They're playing a better defense, in my opinion. I think Bengals' defense is better than Raiders' defense. They're playing a better defense this week. And on top of that, the Bengals' MO is we're going to run the ball and we're going to control the tempo of the game. And typically, especially outdoors, that leads to a little bit more of a low-scoring affair. That's why I like the Bengals on the under.
Dang, taking the under. You're still over?
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, Saturday at 4:30, the Pittsburgh Steelers are heading to Indianapolis to play the Colts. Indy, a 1.5-point favorite in this game. Over under 42.5. Uncle Sam, what do you think?
All I can say is Mitch Trubisky. What the fuck? I'll take the Colts in this. I'm going to take the under. Colts in the under. I just think Pittsburgh is going to struggle trying to put points up. They got no quarterback. I don't know.
I agree. I'm gonna go Colts and under as well.
Colts in the over.
Whoa, you're going over in the Pittsburgh game.
Yeah, indoors, and if you look at what Gardner Minshew's done in back-to-back weeks, he almost never follows up a bad week, which they had a pretty bad week last week with another bad week. And I don't care about Pittsburgh D. There's some guys banged up. I know TJ Watt's still a little bit banged up. And I think things are just down right now. When you have a quarterback that's prone to turning the ball over, you get better field position. And when you got a gunslinger like Minshew, eventually he's going to – Blind Squirrel's going to find the nut every once in a while. And I think that's going to be Minshew in this one. And that's why the over's probably going to hit.
I just don't trust fucking Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah.
He's fucking awful, dude.
This could be a good game for the Steelers to get their run game back on track.
Hopefully.
It'd be a great game for that.
Could be. Next up, the Chicago Bears are heading to Cleveland to play the Browns. Cleveland, a 3-point favorite. The over-under in this one is 38. Just going over the injury report real quick, DJ Moore is questionable going into this game. And Denzel Ward, no real big names for the Browns going into this one. But obviously, the biggest name for the Browns is Joe Flacco, who will be getting another start. So, Uncle Sam, we know you're a big Flacco guy. What do you think?
What's the spread?
Cleveland is a 3-point favorite.
And what's the over?
The over-under is 38.5.
I'm going to take the over in Cleveland.
Can you bark?
Will you bark?
Over in Cleveland.
If Flacco wins this week, will you bark?
No.
Him and his
When they make the
arm.
play, I already told you, when they make the playoffs,
That's going to influence my
Mike, if
playoff
you guys,
machine decisions later.
a howl.
Zola?
I'm going to go Cleveland in the under. I think Chicago covers the 3 points. I think it's a closer game.
That's why I went over, because I think they're going to cover too.
I just think it's going to be a little more defensive. I don't think Chicago's putting up 28 like they did on Lions D, on Browns D. I don't think that's happening. And same drill. I just the outdoors. I think it's going to be low tempo, a lot of running, including Fields, and I think that's going to lead to an under here.
Ready? I'm going to take the Chicago Bears
I'm changing.
to cover this game, and I'm going to take them to win as well. I'm going to take the over in this game.
DJ Moore, if he doesn't play, that
If
worries
DJ
me.
Moore doesn't play, they're fucked. But
that worries me, because that just means, you know what? Anytime Cole Kmet.
Chicago has quietly won 3 of their last 4.
Yeah.
Granted, it was Carolina, Minnesota, and then a real shaky Lions team last week. But I'm not sold on this Cleveland Browns dream yet. And I know you want me to hop on the fucking train.
David and
No, it's
Njoku
fair.
this week.
Hey, it's fair.
Jacksonville,
It's fair.
they beat a decimated Jacksonville team by 4 points last week, and he was ready to crown Joe Flacco as the next great quarterback. So
I'm ready to put the Browns into the playoffs and take them over the Bengals in that last game if they win this week, because this is a big game for them.
this is a big game. And I think that right now, Chicago's kind of gelling right now. I just listen.
I can't wait to see Miles
I thought
Garrett
the same thing.
chasing Justin Fields.
Did you?
I did, but I had to change my pick because every time we agree, we fucking lose.
Well, whatever happens, happens.
That's a horrible way to decide.
Yeah, you're.
It's not a horrible way to decide. Every time him and I agree, we're wrong.
These are Sunday games, by the way. Cleveland, Chicago, Sunday, 1:00. Also Sunday at 1:00, the 6-7 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, first in the NFC South, are heading up to Lambeau Field to play the Green Bay Packers, who are 6-7 and third in the NFC North now. Both these teams fighting for playoff positioning. Green Bay is a 3.5-point favorite in this game. The over-under is 42.5. Checking the injury report, nothing here.
Both the running backs for the Packers are still on the report.
Yeah, Christian Watson is doubtful. Aaron Jones questionable. A.J. Dillon questionable. Watson did not practice today. A.J. Dillon did practice today. Dontavian Wicks questionable. So there's some names there for the Packers that are pretty questionable.
Quay Walker.
Hasn't stopped them in the past.
Quay Walker is also on there. Darnell Savage. There's quite a few names. Jair Alexander may not play. So I don't know if that influences you guys at all.
I'll go first.
Oh, Vita Vea doubtful for the Buccaneers. Chris Godwin questionable. Carlton Davis out. Jamil Dean questionable.
At the risk of my record, I'm going to do what I did last week and pick with the chalk, which is the Packers. Hoping very much that they choke this game away. I'm taking Tampa to cover, but I'm taking the Packers to win at Lambeau. I think Tampa's totally capable of winning this game. I'm hoping it does happen, but if the Packers are the team that everyone thought they were in LaFleur in December and all that stupid shit, Packers are going to win this game without problems. And I think the over is going to hit too, because in order for the Packers to win this game, they're going to have to score some points. So I'm going to take the Packers in the over. I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm trying to create some bad juju for the Packers.
It's also a short week.
Uncle Sam?
I'm taking Tampa Bay in the under. Baker Mayfield, baby. Until he loses, I'm going to keep going with him.
Till he loses.
He's only won one.
What do you
I hope
mean,
you're right.
Till he loses.
I hope you're right. I think he's very capable.
I think that they have enough weapons and enough guns, and their defense is still good enough
Yep.
to keep Jordan Love in check.
Yep, the Packers are allergic to bad defenses because all he's a gunslinger. All he does is throw the ball downfield. So at some point, some of those balls
He
are
does
going
that
to
against the Packers, he's going to be, or against
Agreed.
Tampa, he's going to be in trouble.
Agreed. Big game for Winfield. Big game
Yeah,
for Antoine Winfield
Winfield.
coming.
Yep.
Yeah, well, because realistically, Winfield's the only one of their healthy DBs.
Yeah, it's true.
You got Jamil Dean, Carlton Davis, and Ryan.
Actually, you
Neal
know what?
all on
I
that
like
injury
Carlton
report.
Davis. Let me say
Carlton
that
Davis is
publicly.
out.
I know he gets a lot of
Out.
yeah, but he's been getting a lot of flack for some bad calls and stuff. But I like his physicality and his size.
I'm going to take Green Bay in this game to cover, to win. And I'm going to take the over as well. I think it's going to be a close game. Going to come down to it, but I think ultimately Green Bay.
The Jaden Reed anytime touchdown.
Jaden Reed, honest to God, I'm just going to go the same route as you. Jaden Reed anytime touchdown. Obviously, Mike Evans anytime touchdown is always a safe bet too, but outside of last week. But coming off that loss to Danny DeVito and the Giants, they've got to bounce back this week, and I think that they do at home.
I don't think so. I think they're going to lose. I think they're going to lose, and that helps the Lions.
Yeah, but Tampa. It's Tampa Bay.
Yeah, but you have Desmond Ridder in your mouth.
You feel about Tampa Bay how I feel about Atlanta. Exactly what he just said. You got Desmond Ridder in your mouth.
Desmond Ridder, baby. Next up, Houston is heading to Tennessee to play the Titans. Half of Houston's team isn't playing. Tennessee, after that their shocker of a W against Miami last week. Big win. They're 5-8 and 4th in the South versus Houston, who's 7-6 and 3rd in the South. This game, I mean, don't get me wrong.
No C.J. Stroud.
I don't think Tennessee's a playoff hopeful, but hypothetically, if Tennessee won out, they could find themselves in a wild card spot.
Oh.
I don't think they're going to win out, but I think they're going to win this game.
I do as well. Tennessee, 3.5-point favorite, over under 36.5. Obviously, Stroud out. Will Anderson out.
Nico Collins might be out. Tank Dell dead. For Tennessee,
he is dead.
Nobody fucking Jeffrey Simmons is out again still. Outside of that, nobody relevant's out.
So here's why I'm doing some intangibles here. Here's why I think the Titans win.
Davis Mills.
I think the Titans there's some fuckery going on. The Titans are wearing their Houston Oilers throwbacks in this game too while they're playing the Houston team. And I think that's just major trolling. And I think that's going to, affect the Houston performance.
I like the uniforms. I'm taking Tennessee.
Yeah. Titans. I'm looking for a big game from Will Levis for this one.
I think Tennessee continues their hot streak as well. I'm taking Tennessee to cover, Tennessee to win. That over under a 36. I'm going to take the under.
We'll take the over.
I'm going to take the under because last week when Davis Mills got in there and Houston lost all of their offensive weapons, they were able to manage 6 points against the Jets.
I think they'll be a little bit better this week. If he's the one who took all the snaps, I see them being better. I see them putting points up.
Listen to me. You've always had a hard-on for Davis Mills, and I didn't expect that to end when he gets a starting job. So I'm definitely going.
I'm taking the over.
Next up, Sunday at 1 p.m., the New York Jets are heading down to Hard Rock Stadium in Miami to play the Dolphins. The Dolphins coming off of a real asshole punch from the Titans, where the Jets were the ones punching assholes last week. They beat the Texans 30-6. So, Miami first in the AFC East. The Jets at 5-8, third in the AFC East. This is a big bounce back game for Miami. They've got to come out strong in this game. But you know what? I see that smirk on Uncle Sam's face, and I know what he's going to do. Achane a little bit banged up for Miami, but should play. Xavier Howard, same thing. Tyreek Hill is going to be a game-time decision with a busted-up ankle. I don't care. I am still going to take Miami in this. If Tyreek doesn't play, they will have planned accordingly. They'll be ready to go this week. Last week when he left, the offense looked pretty impotent, but I think that they're planning in case he's not there, and I think this over-under reflects it. Over-under 37 here. I'm going to take Miami, giving up the 10, and I'm also going to take the over in this game. They'll be ready for this week. If Tyreek doesn't play, they'll be ready for it.
Jets to cover, but I like Miami to win. I started watching the Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
I'm about 3 deep right now. Mm-hmm. And one of their narratives this year is last year going into the playoffs, which obviously they were out a quarterback in their first round game, but they lost every game in December. And they lost a bad one last week or Monday night, to the Titans, and I think they're going to rectify this week.
That was a good game.
The Monday night game. Yeah, I just think that they're not going to – McDaniels is smart enough not to choke a game at home. I know the Jets kind of played them relatively close the first time at MetLife, and I think that's why they cover this time. It's going to be tough without Tyreek Hill, but Miami ultimately wins, and I also like the over.
Weather's going to be awful for this game, too.
I like the under.
I'm taking the Jets. Taking the Jets and the over.
They have a tropical storm coming through, the latest one ever.
Yeah, it's called Brees Hall.
Listen, Brees Hall's
Brees Hall, anytime touchdown.
Last week was the first week Brees Hall's had a great game in I don't remember how long.
Brees Hall, anytime touchdown this week.
Since your beard wasn't gray. Anyways.
Letting it grow, or are you still trimming it up?
What?
Are you letting it grow? Or are you still
Look like I'm letting it grow?
I don't know. It looks like it hasn't fucking changed in the last week.
No, he scissor cut it in the last week.
What's that?
You scissor cut it in the last week. I can tell. Yeah, you have.
No, I haven't.
It's perfectly lined.
I combed it.
No, you're telling me you didn't take a pair of scissors to that beard this week.
No, I did not. I think
buying
I trimmed it with my mustache.
I ain't buying it.
Just my mustache.
Will you not shave it until next season?
I'm not shaving.
Ever.
I'm letting it grow.
It's gonna look like
Beautiful.
that photo.
Yeah, it's gonna look like
Where
the
it's down to your
picture
belly.
It's going to look just like it did
where you could wear it as a bra if you wanted to.
when I could use it as a bib.
Yeah. Next up, the Kansas City Chiefs are heading to Gillette Stadium to play the New England Patriots. Kansas City, an 8.5-point favorite. The over-under in this game, 37. Obviously, Pacheco out for the Chiefs. Donovan Smith, offensive tackle, is out for the Chiefs as well. Nick Bolton has a chance to play, as does Drew Tranquill. Ramondre Stevenson out for the Patriots.
Not good.
Devontae Parker and Juju Smith-Schuster both have knee injury designations going into this. They are questionable.
Chiefs to win, Chiefs to cover, and I'm actually going to say this is a surprising backdoor over, even against that Chiefs defense. I think the Chiefs put up 25-30, and the Patriots managed 10 points on their own to make it happen.
I agree with you. I'm gonna take Chiefs in the over.
I'm going to take New England to cover. I'm going to take New England to win, and I'm going to take the under in this game.
What the fuck?
I've been talking about it.
That's an awful take.
I've been talking about it for a week now. All right? I've watched enough New England Patriots football to know that this is that fucked up
Jumped off
game.
the wagon 2 years ago.
This is that fucked up game that Bill Belichick somehow finds a way to win. Bailey Zappi actually looked fucking decent last week against the Pittsburgh defense.
Yeah, I was a little surprised he looked as good as he did.
And I'm going to be honest, there's too much noise right now for Kansas City. There's too much fucking noise. I think that's part of the reason that they've looked the way that they look. I think there's too much fucking noise, and I think they're going to get slapped in the mouth this week.
I think Andy Reid reels it all in and gets these guys back.
Yes, but
Taylor Swift's there. So
guess what? You know what?
she's fucking the whole process.
This is, again, we're going back to this. We've never had to see this Kansas City team have any controversy, have any misstep.
Junior says the Patriots are winning this.
Any 3-game losing streak. Like, I don't think Mahomes has had a 3-game losing
Billy
streak.
Rexroad?
That's Billy. That's Billy.
Is that Stacy Rexroad on there?
Listen, I'm going New England. I've had a feeling all week since Kansas City lost last week to Buffalo. That you know how Philadelphia, and I said the way that fucking game ended, they'd lose the following week. The way that Kansas City game ended, they're not past it yet. And I think that they get punched in the mouth this week by a New England team. And I think if Bailey Zappi plays the way he did against Pittsburgh the week before, they win this game.
The one thing I think you have going for you is we're on a Kansas City type week. And usually when he does that, they're laser focused. But the difference between this team and one of the past we're on to teams is the talent.
Thank you, Junior. I'm rolling with you. Patriots. Let's go. And the team has no fucking talent. This Patriots team is completely talentless.
And the Pats do?
No, that's what I said. The Patriots have no talent.
I thought you said Kansas City.
But we got to see if they bounce back from this. I'm not worried.
You really know shit's fucked up when you're taking the Patriots and he's not.
That's because he's a pussy sellout, because this would be the perfect game for him to take the Patriots in, but he won't do it. This is that perfect game.
What?
I took the Jets.
Whatever.
I took the Jets.
Took the Jets.
Nobody takes the Jets. Only I take the Jets.
Next up, the New York Giants are the New York Giants are heading down to the Superdome to play the Saints. DeVito fever is sweeping across the entire eastern seaboard. New Orleans, a 5.5-point favorite, tied record-wise for first place in the NFC South, but are in third due to tiebreakers. Over-under 39. New Orleans, again, 5.5-point favorite. Are we sticking with DeVito, or are you guys going to pull for the Saints?
I'm taking New Orleans and the over, but I'm going to take the Giants to cover.
I'm going with the Saints as well. That's a tough place to play at the end of the day, and they're still in it right now. But I'll be at from 90% to 100% bought in on Tommy fucking DeVito. If he goes into the fucking Superdome and takes down Derek Carr and whoever else the fucking people are they on the deal. They got Kamara. Who else is on there? Who else they got?
Olave might not play.
He's fucking trash anyways. Fucking Ohio State. Listen, I think there's a chance the Giants win this. For that reason, I'm taking them to cover. I'm at this point, you cannot deny Tommy DeVito magic if they go. That's a tough place to play. A lot of what they've done has been at home, and it's been against bad teams. But they beat a pretty good Packer team last week. And I think if you have the talent to beat the Packers, no matter how you did it, I think you have a chance to beat the Saints. I just think that the Saints know that they need this one. This is a who needs it more game, and the Saints really fucking need this game because they don't have a lot of gimmies down the stretch other than the Panthers. So,
Uncle Sam?
Taking the Saints.
yeah, he took the Saints.
So you already picked?
Saints in the over.
Oh, wow. Why?
I'm taking Danny DeVito to cover.
So you guys are both Giants to cover, Saints to win.
Correct. Saints to win.
And over, both
the
of
over.
you? I'm taking the Giants to cover, the Giants to win in the over in this game. I'm all in on the DeVito magic. I think that Saquon Barkley is going to have a hell of a game against this Saints front, and I don't trust Derek Carr. I mean, it's pretty much it in a nutshell. You do realize, yeah, Junior just said that you're stroking out. Yeah, because he can't fucking sit still over here. He gets a sip of the Aladdin in him, and he's got to play musical instruments. Right now, yards per carry. Saquon Barkley's averaging 4.4 yards per carry. Alvin Kamara's averaging 3.9. That's Kamara's career lowest, and his biggest threat has been through the air. I think he'll continue that, but especially with Olave still banged up, I'm going to go the Giants here. I'm going to go with DeVito magic, and guess what? I want to see Daniel Jones lose his job to this guy. Truly, I do. So I'm going to ride with the Giants.
Fucking cutlets.
Wait, Zola, you took New Orleans?
I did, yeah. I did.
Next up,
I have it written down like that. I'm just confused.
we have
Divisional game.
the Atlanta Falcons are heading down to Carolina to play the Panthers. And in a week where my two co-hosts might actually have to pick the Atlanta Falcons, Atlanta is a 3-point favorite. The over-under, 33.5. This game down in Carolina, a couple of injuries.
In Carolina, outside.
Yes, the Panthers are going to put Hayden Hurst on IR, so the big tight end is out for them. Brian Burns looking like he may not play in this game again. As far as the Falcons go, looks to be as if everyone relevant will be playing. The Falcons lost a heartbreaker last week to Tampa. 2 straight wins before that. Was hoping they could string a few more together. And as we know, Carolina's 1-12. So, Uncle Sam, you tell me how playing outside in Carolina is going to affect the Falcons. And the
Taking the Carolina Panthers in this, and I'm taking the under.
Zola?
I'm taking the Atlanta Falcons. Surprisingly, I'm going to take the over here. And I'm taking the, what is it, 8.5 you said? Or 3.5? 3.5?
3.
I'm taking the Falcons to cover, but I have a question for you.
Yep.
What would you do if the Falcons lost this game?
Chuba Hubbard, anytime touchdown.
What are you just doing that to give Bruce a hard on?
I'm just telling you.
It's all right.
If the Falcons lose this game, I'm not going to panic yet. I'm not see.
Falcons lose this game,
You
they're
guys
done.
want me to panic. You guys want me to
They
panic.
lose this game, they're done.
Your MO is not panicking until
But they
it's too
play
late.
Indy, Chicago, and New Orleans going forward.
I see 3 losses.
They could lose all 3 of those.
Listen,
they're both dog shit.
but this is again. Hold on, Indy, Chicago,
Yeah.
and New Orleans.
Yeah.
Right? Tampa. It's got to go play. Green Bay this week, Jacksonville, New Orleans, and then at Carolina.
Very winnable for them.
But see, I don't think. Why is that very winnable?
Just because I think they're better than Carolina. I think they're better than Jacksonville at this point. Especially
You think
Trevor
Tampa
Lawrence,
Bay is better than Jackson?
especially if Trevor Lawrence misses some time.
Trevor Lawrence is playing. He played last week. He's playing again
Okay.
this week.
Well, he's not playing. He's not healthy.
And then New
And he's
Orleans.
looked bad.
New Orleans is at the Rams, at Tampa Bay, at home against Atlanta.
New Orleans' best matchup is Tampa Bay.
I
Out
think
of
New
Atlanta,
Orleans after this week basically is going to lose.
Carolina.
I think they'll lose to the Rams.
Come on, guys. That's my team down the stretch. Apparently,
I'm
Well-
not going to panic.
in the game, I have New Orleans. Remember, it's Tampa.
I
Atlanta,
like New
New
Orleans this
Carolina.
week, but I don't. I think the Rams will beat them, next week. But I like New Orleans this week, and I don't see Atlanta winning the division. Something tells me that they're just going to shit it away.
It's Atlanta's division to lose, baby.
They don't have a fucking quarterback.
Desmond, yes, they do.
And they will.
Can I tell you something?
What?
Desmond Ritter, the guy who can't throw the ball,
He's been
has
awful.
has more yards than Bryce Young with the exact same amount of passing touchdowns and the exact same amount of interceptions.
We'll see it after this week when they play outside.
And that's even missing 2 games.
See, they got to play outside. We'll see what
Is
happens.
that really something?
Get out of that dome that they play in and see what happens.
Listen to me. I'm not saying he's great.
So when would you panic on Atlanta if they lost this week? The most winnable game left on their schedule if they went in and lost it. A game, by the
Correct.
way, on StubHub, you can
On the
buy
road.
tickets to this game for 45 cents.
On the road.
The get-in price for this game is 40. It's 2 quarters.
Then
Did you know that?
I would panic if they lose to Indianapolis on Christmas Eve.
After fees, 2 quarters.
If they lose to Indianapolis on Christmas Eve, I would panic. That's it. Then they're the write-off. So there's no panic. It's either we're good or we're out with Atlanta. That's it. If they lose this week, they're still okay. They lose to Indy.
You don't think if they lose to the fucking worst team in the NFL? that-
No, because here's
Not
the
panic
problem.
time?
Carolina has to get that second win. I've been saying all year, Carolina will get a second win. It's just where does it come, right? So it's either this week against Atlanta or it's the last game of the year against Tampa Bay
Where's that at?
in Carolina.
Oh, that's interesting.
Good old Charlotte, tough place to play.
Especially if it's cold.
Yeah, the turf was too cold last year, and it wasn't a safe playing surface.
I remember that Donta Foreman guy fist punching Dan Campbell and everybody on the Detroit Lions team.
Nothing better than a good old-fashioned fist
It's
punch.
better than a slobber knocker fist punch.
Next up,
Or not?
this is going to be a riveting game. The Washington Commanders are heading to SoFi Stadium to play the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams, a 6.5-point favorite in this game. The over/under is 50.5 point.
Huh.
The Rams 6-7 and second in the NFC West, fighting for that playoff spot. Where Washington's 4-9 and at the bottom of the NFC East. Brian Robinson not playing in this game for Washington. Tutu Atwell in concussion protocol for the Rams.
Rams to win outright, Commanders to cover. I like the under, and I like Puka Nacua anytime. The Rams play to their opponents. They don't blow people out. They play to their opponents every week, and I think that yields some close games. Yeah, it's the Stafford way. Yeah, you play to your opponents. If they're good, you're going to play to them, and then you're going to lose. If they're bad, you're going to play to them, and you're going to win. And it's going to be close in the last second.
Exactly.
Uncle Sam?
I'm taking the Rams in the over. I think they're a playoff team, especially if they can go into San Francisco at the end of this year and punch them in the mouth.
I'm going to take the Rams, and I'm going to take the under in this game. I don't know how
I
much.
think they're going to put points. I think both of these teams are going to put points.
I don't know what Washington is going to be able to manufacture without Brian Robinson because that offense Their passing attack has been so successful this year because of their ability to run play action with Brian Robinson, to use him in the passing game, and for him to
Still
run the
have
ball.
Gibson. It's not like they don't have it.
Yeah, but they've gotten so far away from using Antonio Gibson this year that I don't even know what he's still worth. I'm going to go with the Rams to cover and win, but I'm going to take the under in this game. At the end of the day, this Rams team's been putting up points at will. That I think that it's got to start to come back down to earth a little bit, because there's a point in this year where it wasn't happening. Like that Seattle game, both these teams played each other tough. It was a 17-16 game. So I'm going to take the under. I think it comes back down a little bit.
This is an easy one.
Next up, the San Francisco 49ers are headed down to the desert to play the Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals are 3-10. Arizona's 10-3. Cardinals are 3-10. San Francisco is 10-3. Apologies. This is indeed a
Divisional game.
San Francisco is a 12.5-point favorite. The over-under is 48.5. And this is where the fucking guy next to me is going to take Kyler Murray to cover. Go ahead. Have your day.
I'm going to take San Francisco to win this game. I'm going to take the Cardinals to cover that 12.
Oh, God.
I am going to take the Niners to win.
Don't do it.
That's a huge number, but they're rolling too much lately. I'm going to take the Niners to cover it. Wouldn't be shocked if the Cardinals did. It's a big number, and they've covered their defensive team, so they've covered the big numbers all year. It's just tough to play there because it's hard. It's in San Francisco, right?
It is in Arizona.
Oh, still taking the Niners to cover that, and I'm going to go with the under.
Niners to win, Niners to cover, and the over. I can't even believe you did that. Honest to God, I'd
took
have
the
to go,
49ers to win. What
listen to me.
makes you-
I'd have to go back and look at it, but I
Why?
think they've covered their last 5 games.
Okay.
San Francisco 34-3, 27-14, 31-13, 42-9 against your Philadelphia Eagles, by the way, and then Seattle last week 28-16. Come on.
Something just tells me that
Something
magic
just tells
is gonna,
me that
magic is going to happen
everybody
in the
in
desert.
something just tells me that everybody in the chat has been right, and it's time for you to go to a home. Anyways, next up, we've got a 4:25 p.m. matchup. The first place in the NFC East, that's the Eagles division, but the Eagles aren't in first place. The first place Dallas Cowboys.
They're tied for first place.
No. There can only be one first place. The first place 10-3 Dallas Cowboys are going to Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park to play the second place Buffalo Bills, sitting at 7-6. I'm going to shock the shit out of you right now.
No, you're not.
Buffalo's a 2-point favorite.
Yeah, that's weird.
Over-under is 50.
What do they know that we don't know?
I don't know.
What the
I
fuck?
don't fucking know.
What does the guys in Vegas know that we don't know?
I just, this one is shocking to me.
They beat Kansas City.
You know what? I'm going to bite. I'm going to bite on it. If Dallas loses a game, it's going to be this one. This is the only one I could truly see them
In
losing.
Buffalo?
What do they have after that? They have Miami in Miami. They play the Giants, right?
Dallas, hold on, pull
Or they play the Commanders.
Dallas games going forward. Obviously, this week is Buffalo. Then they're at Miami, at home against Detroit, at Washington.
Yeah, I mean, this is the only game that they might drop, and the odds are that they're going to drop a game. We talk about it all the time. It's too hot. I think Dallas is the better team. I think they have a big run left in them. That being said, just because of that, I am going to very reluctantly take the Bills. I think the Bills are going to win. And you know what? If the Bills win, same drill. If the Bills win, it's because they scored some points and they got into a shootout and fucked around and won. I'm going to take the over. I could see like a 35-28er here on this one.
This is a clinching game for the Cowboys, by the way. A playoff spot, not the division.
It's hard to pick
Also,
against Dallas.
there are some other books that are using 2.5 and 3.
For Buffalo?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a what do we know thing. I guess the only thing I could think of is you're taking Dak out of the dome or in the warm weather for the last X amount of days. I mean, I know it goes back last week, the week before, and maybe even the week before that. And now he's got to go in the cold against a team that's surging right now and needs the game more. So
I'm taking the Cowboys in this. I'm going to take the Cowboys, the over. And I think that Dallas, if they're as good as they've been playing, they should win this game easily, actually.
agreed.
Yeah. And I don't like Josh Allen against that Dallas secondary. I just don't like it. Your little blank guy, Blanco, whatever his fucking name is, gonna do another fucking interception for a touchdown.
Oh, the guy fucking
What the fuck is his name?
I don't remember his name.
Blanco.
No,
Deron Bland.
Deron Bland.
Bland,
Yeah.
whatever his
Why are you
name.
saying it's my
Blandino.
guy? He's not my fucking
Meanwhile,
guy.
over the last month, the best player on their defense
Yeah.
has been Stephon Gilmore.
Yep.
Huh?
Gilmore
Gilmore.
has been the best player on their defense.
Yeah,
for
he
the
was
last month.
outstanding last week. He was.
I'm going to take Dallas to cover, Dallas to win, and I'm going to take the over in this game as well. I just think Dallas is too hot right now. I think they're going to keep winning. I think Buffalo does make it a game, but ultimately I think Dallas is the hottest team in the league right now.
Whoever scores first wins.
Josh Allen will make a mistake in this game, and it will cost Buffalo the game. And I don't know if Buffalo will lose anymore after this, and they still have a chance in the playoffs even if they drop this game. But I think Dallas is too hot right now.
They drop this game, they're gonna need help.
Yes, and I also do agree with Zolo that if Dallas was going to lose a game,
This would be it.
this would be it because it's in the cold. And I'm not 100% confident in Dallas against Miami next week either.
If they win this, they're winning out. If Dallas wins this,
See,
they're
I
winning
don't
out.
think so. I think if they win this week, they lose next week. Or they lose to Detroit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they split
yeah.
this.
Yeah,
They gotta
gotta
drop
split
one.
the same.
I'm gonna
drop
fuck
one.
everybody
They
up
gotta
right
drop
now.
one.
Gotta drop one.
I am taking the Detroit Lions to upset Dallas at
That's
Dallas.
2 weeks from now. Golf could be
Yep.
dead by
You
then.
also
Or
said
so
that
could
last-
I don't care. I'm
You said
taking
that
them.
2 weeks ago.
Whatever, dude.
Or
Teddy
week-
Ball-
or
Teddy
last
Ball
week
game.
or something.
Teddy Ball game.
It would be Hendon Hooker before Teddy.
No, give me Dak.
Any ball game.
Dak's MVP winner right now. I think it's going to continue for another week at least.
Poop take.
Okay.
No, it's not a poop take. It's
Where we
called
at?
betting favorite.
Yeah, who cares about the betting? Who do you think's going to win MVP?
Dak Prescott. If he continues to do what he's
Why'd
doing,
you
Dak
jump
Prescott.
the Purdy train?
It could be
Because Dak Prescott's
it's-
playing better than Brock Purdy right
It's
now.
the eye
Yeah, but
test right
hold
now.
on. Dak's only been playing good for the past 4 weeks
No, he's been playing
They've
good
since
won.
week 5.
They've won like 6 in a row.
because of their defense.
No,
No, it's because of
it's
him.
not because of their defense.
Absolutely.
It's not because of their defense. Because if you want to fucking break it down, this is their point totals through their winning
He has
streak.
22 touchdowns and 6 interceptions.
Joking. They put up 33
past
against
6 games.
Philly. They put up 41 against Seattle. They put up 45 against Washington. They put up 33 on Carolina.
Because
They put up
defense is
49 on the
making
Giants.
stops for
They put up
Dak to have
43 on the
ball.
Rams.
I think Purdy's closer than people think, but it's Dak, and
Dak.
and they're winning. They're winning some really big games.
I don't like the Cowboys. I hate the Cowboys. I don't like Dax. I don't like Dak Prescott either.
You
But
know
at the end
how
of the
I
day,
feel about Dak
he
Prescott.
fucking hates him more than
Don't even get
anybody.
me fucking started.
But right now, as of today, I'm not talking week 1 of the playoffs. I'm talking today. Dak is the fucking
Has
MVP.
anybody noticed in the past 5 weeks that I haven't told you what dog shit Dak Prescott is?
Yeah, and trust me, if there was
anybody
anybody
notice?
who would do it,
That
if Dak Prescott
means
picked
I'm
his
giving
nose,
him
he'd do
props.
shit. Yeah.
You've heard me not criticize him once in 6 weeks because he's
Playing
earning
really
it.
fucking good football.
Because he's earning it.
Yeah. Next up, the Baltimore Ravens are heading down to Jacksonville to play the Jaguars. Jacksonville 8-5 and first in the AFC South. Baltimore 10-3 and first in the AFC North. This game, I guess, does have some playoff implications if Jacksonville finds a way to win it. Baltimore a 3-point favorite. Over under 42.5. Injury-wise, obviously Christian Kirk out for the year. Trevor Lawrence did come off the injury report today. He is a full go. Kyle Hamilton questionable for the Ravens. Outside of that, couple of the DBs out for Jacksonville as Jamal Agnew's banged up as well. Again, Baltimore a 3-point favorite, over under 42.5. I'll throw it to Uncle Sam.
Taking the Ravens and the over.
Zolo?
I like the Ravens, and as of late, they're actually a team that also likes to play to their opponents. I think that they haven't had like a definitive win in the last couple weeks, and for that
Well,
reason,
they get one now because Jacksonville's on the biggest slide of of their fucking legacy.
There's
right
something
now.
about Jacksonville at home, though. I think they're going to play better at home, still lose, but I like Jacksonville to cover. And, you ready for this? I like the under.
So I'm going to say this. I love Baltimore, and I think Baltimore's a really fucking good team. But I do agree with Zolo that Baltimore's playing to their opponent right now. Jacksonville beat Tennessee, beat Houston at Houston when Houston was still halfway decent at full strength. They lost to Cincinnati by a field goal, and then essentially it was a 4-point loss last week to Cleveland because they didn't kick the extra point, but they lost to Cleveland by a field goal. I'm going to take Jacksonville in this game to cover and to win. That over-under of 42.5, I'm going to take the over. I think Trevor Lawrence has got a lot to prove in this game. Travis Etienne has looked like dog shit as of late. I think he has a little bit of a comeback game. And ultimately, I think same philosophy that I have with Dallas right now. Baltimore has to lose a game somewhere in here. And, I mean, at the end of the day, if they're going to lose one outside of the San Francisco game, I think this one could be it because I think they're bringing their everything when they go to play Miami. Give me Jacksonville to upset Baltimore in this one. Jacksonville's got to get it together. Otherwise, they will lose that division. Oh, that was a Sunday night game as well. So we only have one more game to talk about, and it is the Saturday night football game, and it is live from Ford Field here in Detroit, Michigan. This one's going to be interesting. The Denver Broncos are coming here to play our very own Detroit Lions. The Lions, a 4.5-point favorite in this game. The over-under is 48. On the injury report right now for Denver, it's looking like Greg Dulcich is going to be out. Kareem Jackson suspended. For the Lions.
What about Bonito?
Benito Jones,
out.
questionable.
No.
Nick Bonito's out.
Yeah, Nick Bonito.
Nick Bonito is out for Denver. Benito Jones, questionable for Detroit. Taylor Decker, it looks like he is going to play, as it does Frank Ragnow. Josh Reynolds, a game-time decision. Hendon Hooker is out.
What did I say?
So, by the way, on Hendon Hooker, after we had that conversation this week, if they don't add him to the active roster next week, he can't play this year, just a heads up. And the way their roster is shaping up at the moment, because they're going to have all these guys coming back, and they only have so many spots, my guess is you don't see Hendon Hooker this year. My guess is his practice window closes and he gets deactivated. That's my guess. Just putting that out there.
You want to pick this one?
Yeah, I'm going to pick the Denver Broncos. I'm going to pick the Denver Broncos. I'm going to pick them to cover the 4.5, picking them to win outright. It's just hard to pick the Lions right now. I think if everything goes according to plan, the Lions win this, and they win this soundly. Someone will have to tell me how Sean Payton fares against his old assistants, but I think he's going to be fired up for Dan Campbell. I think Dan Campbell's going to be fired up for Sean Payton, conversely. But I just love what I've seen from Denver, and I don't love what I've seen from the Lions. If you'd asked me this a week ago, I would have picked Denver. If you'd asked me this 2 weeks ago, I would have picked Denver. If you'd asked me this 3 weeks ago, I would have picked Denver. They're just playing well. That was a little bit of a tough loss last week or 2 weeks ago against Houston, if I remember correctly. That was a tough one. And Russ is a vet. And veterans are going to pick this Lions defense apart at the moment. What I'm looking for from the Lions, it's not all bad, but what I'm looking for is Jared Goff to bounce back. I'm looking for the offense to circle back to what it was. I think they are totally capable of blowing Denver out of the water, but I got to see it to believe it, and I can't apply those principles until I see it. Right now, I haven't seen it. I'm going with Denver to win, going with Denver to cover, obviously, and I like the over with a healthy Lions offensive line.
Uncle Sam.
I'm also taking Denver to win. I'm taking the over. And I just think Russell Wilson will be too much for that defense to handle. There's only one way the Lions have a chance, and if they go back to what Dan Campbell originally did last year, was to be physical, run the football, and control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. I just don't feel that they're there. We haven't seen it this year. The grit, the punch in the mouth, the wanting to dominate guys and the effort. Just haven't seen it. Haven't seen it in 6 weeks, and I don't think they get it back tomorrow night. I just don't.
Just out there dominating dudes, huh?
Real quick on Denver's defense, they force more turnovers than any team in the
correct.
league at the moment.
Yeah.
And they're playing a team that's turning the ball over like crazy. What they also do is they love to bring the pressure on their D-line. And, of course, Taylor Decker's apparently playing on one leg and giving up crazy pressure. The entire left side of the offensive line
And
is.
Ragnow's hurt, too.
So Uncle Sam's dead on when he says the Lions need to be able to effectively run the ball to win this game. It means two things. It means keeping Russell Wilson off the field, and it means controlling the tempo, and it means that you don't have to deal with a pass rush if you're running the ball by their D linemen. So
Listen, they're not going to have an easy job trying to stop, what's his name, that kid from Denver either. The running back from Denver.
Javante.
Devontae.
Anyways.
Huh?
You know who gives up the most rushing yards out of any team in the NFL?
The Lions?
The Denver Broncos, 144 yards per game.
How are you going to say the Lions? They're like
It's a joke, dude.
best.
Yeah, they're great against the run. They're horrible against the pass. Guess what?
pass?
Start rolling Russell Wilson out, and they have no answer.
Doesn't
Russell Wilson rolls out. They have no answer. They can't cover a mobile quarterback. Russell Wilson can still run. And guess what? I don't care that Dulich is out. Who's their other fucking tight end?
Adam Troutman.
There you go. Adam Troutman, anytime touchdown.
Okay. I'm going to take the Lions to cover. I'm going to take the Lions to win. I'm going to take the over in this game. I think that both David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs have absolutely monster games. I'm sorry, but I think that matchup-wise, on paper, this game doesn't bother me as nearly as much as the Dallas game does. I don't think this is as a surefire loss. I think that the Lions, if they are smart, they will take their flaws from the last few games and they will maniacally run the fucking ball down Denver's throat and win this game. And they'll try and control the clock. They have all of their offensive linemen playing, even if they're banged up. They have to run the ball effectively against this Denver team. They have to. And I'll be honest, this is a big test for their defense. This is a huge test for their defense. But that Houston defense, as banged up and as young and as green as it is, was able to hold Russell Wilson at 17 points last week. I think that they're going to get it together just good enough to slip this game out. And I think that they run the ball down Denver's throat. Denver giving up 150 yards on the ground per week. The Lions will take advantage of that, and the Lions win this game.
I hope you're right.
yeah, I hope you're right too. I did some
see
picks today that I picked against my heart in hopes that my heart is not broken at the end of the weekend. And like I picked the Packers reluctantly, and I picked the Broncos reluctantly, and I'm hoping
Hopefully
that works.
the entire North loses this week.
Yeah.
Just again, this is one of those Lions games that they should lose, but they'll win.
I don't think so. I think they're going to lose this game.
That's
I
because you
think
get the
next-
hard on for Sean
Can we
Payton
go to
and all that
the
bullshit.
Can we go to the
The playoff machine?
machine?
It's alive. It's here.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
This should be quick. We only have 3 weeks to pick.
We only got 3 weeks to pick. So, obviously, we have a Raiders win so far this week on the playoff machine. Minnesota at Cincinnati. Who do we take, Bruce?
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
Pittsburgh at Indy.
Indy.
I'm taking Indy.
You guys.
Indy.
I think we swept
We
Indy.
all took Indy.
So, Denver at Detroit. Obviously, we have to pick Denver, right? Cute. The Jets at the Dolphins.
Dolphins.
Will you tell me who we all picked?
Yeah,
Or who two of us picked?
You're not going in the order that I have it written down.
Oh, so you
I
actually
can
have to
remember.
look for it.
I can remember.
Houston at Tennessee. I think we all took
We all
Tennessee.
took Tennessee.
So Tennessee. Yep.
Tampa Bay at Green Bay.
I
Tampa
took Green Bay. And
I
I think Sam
took
took
Green
Green
Bay.
Bay.
Yep. 2 Green Bays.
The Giants at the Saints.
I took
Saints.
the Saints, and Uncle Sam took
You
the
guys both took
Saints.
the Saints. The Falcons at Carolina.
All
Carolina.
Falcons.
He took fucking Carolina. Bears at
Uncle
Browns.
Sam and I took
Cleveland.
the Browns.
Cleveland.
You guys both took Cleveland.
It's KC.
Kansas
KC.
City.
San
San
Francisco.
The
Cardinals.
Rams. What's that? They took the Cowboys. Both of
We
them
both
took the
took the
Cowboys.
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 Baltimore.
Baltimore.
You guys took Baltimore, and
We
everybody
didn't
took.
pick up the.
Oh, we didn't do Monday night, but
Philly.
we can all say Philadelphia for Monday
Yep.
night, right? Okay, so after this week, we have San Francisco as the 1 seed, Dallas as the 2 seed, Detroit as the 3 seed, Atlanta as the 4 seed, Philadelphia, the 5th seed and the first wild card team, Minnesota, the 6th seed at 7-7, and Green Bay, the 7th seed at 7-7. So still two NFC North teams in there.
That's ideal if you're the Lions there, but something's going to change.
Well, even with the loss, it doesn't really affect Detroit all that much. As far as AFC goes, Baltimore in the 1 seed, Miami in the 2 at 10-4, Kansas City in the 3 at 9-5, Jacksonville in the 4 at 8-6, Cleveland in the first wildcard spot at 9-5, Indianapolis 8-6, hot on Jacksonville's toes in the 6th seed, and Denver's win over the Lions puts them in the playoffs in the 7th seed. Buffalo on the outside looking in at 7-7. The Raiders kind of making things interesting down there at 6-8. Cincinnati at 8-6, just on the outside looking in. Houston falling back a little bit at 7-7. The Rams at 7-7 now would be in a situation where a Green Bay or a Minnesota loss next week would put them in. And obviously, New Orleans and Tampa. Tampa's loss this week drops them down, but New Orleans stays right there, tied record-wise with Atlanta. Moving on to Week 16. Saints at Rams.
Rams.
Cincinnati at Pittsburgh.
Right now I'm saying Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
Buffalo at the Chargers.
Buffalo.
The Browns at the Texans.
Browns.
Cleveland, the way it's going right now.
Washington at the Jets.
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 Aaron Rodgers.
Cute. Seahawks at Tennessee.
I'm going with the Titans. Have some fun.
I'll go Titans, too.
Oh, God. The Colts at the Falcons.
Falcons.
Green Bay at Carolina.
Green Bay.
Detroit at Minnesota. Detroit.
I'm taking Detroit on that one.
Thank God. Jacksonville at Tampa Bay. I'm going Jacks.
Tampa.
I'm going to go Tampa.
God. The Cardinals at the Bears.
Cardinals.
Bears.
I'd go Bears. I picked the Bears to win this week. I can't pick them to lose that. Dallas at Miami.
I'm going Dallas.
Miami. New England at Denver.
Denver.
Ugh. The Raiders at the Chiefs.
Chiefs.
The Giants at the Eagles. Giants.
Eagles.
What'd you say, Zola?
Baltimore.
Eagles.
This is a big one. Baltimore at San Francisco.
San Francisco.
So the only things that really change here now.
Well, if you looked at that, Dallas was the
Well, yeah, but
one seed till San Francisco.
because they had the win over San Francisco. Yeah,
Right.
They had the 1-game record over. San Francisco stays in the 1. Dallas stays in the 2. Detroit stays in the 3. Atlanta stays in the 4. Nothing really changes there. Philadelphia is still 12-3, tied with Dallas record-wise, but in the 5th hole. Green Bay in the 6th, and the Rams beat out the Vikings and take the 7 spot at 8-7. As far as the AFC goes, Cincinnati gets into the picture and the 7 seed now at 9-6 with the with the Indianapolis loss. Yeah. Denver moves up to the 6 seed at 9-6. Cleveland now 10-5, firmly holding on to the 5th seed. As we move on to Week 17. This first game, I'm so excited. Jets at Browns.
Browns.
Jets. Aaron Rodgers, baby. Detroit at Dallas.
Detroit.
You're going to leave this up to me now. Dallas. Yep. Miami at Baltimore. I'm taking Miami in this game. Baltimore's got to lose something.
Baltimore.
God damn.
I had Baltimore losing last week to San Francisco.
Yeah, I guess. Patriots at Bills. New England.
Bills.
Okay. Falcons at Bears.
Falcons.
The Atlanta, baby. Wow. The Raiders at the Colts. I'm going to take the Raiders in that game.
I have two.
Raiders.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
fuck
take the
it.
Raiders.
Fucking Raiders. Carolina at Jacksonville. I'm going Jacks.
Jacksonville. Too little, too late.
The Titans at Houston.
I think Stroud should be back for that one.
Correct.
And therefore, I'm going to
We'll
take.
take Houston.
We're taking Houston.
Yep.
The Rams at the Giants.
Rams.
Nobody else picked.
Rams.
Rams.
I really wanted to take the Giants there. Tommy DeVito, baby. Cardinals at Philly.
Eagles.
Eagles.
The Saints at the Buccaneers.
Taking Tampa.
Tampa.
Tampa. San Francisco at Washington.
Niners.
Frisco.
The Steelers at the Seahawks.
The Seahawks.
Seahawks.
My, how the mighty have fallen.
Kansas City.
Kansas City.
Cincinnati at Kansas City. The
Kansas
Chargers at Denver.
Denver.
Green Bay at Minnesota.
I'm going with Green Bay.
I am too. Green Bay.
Okay, I don't know what happened here, but somehow Philadelphia is winning the division now. But it doesn't make any sense.
It's because of the tiebreakers.
Yeah, but
It's because of all the tiebreakers.
Dallas never lost.
Yeah, but neither did Philly. They both got the same record, correct?
Yeah, but if Dallas had the tiebreaker now, why would it change?
Because the tiebreaker is going to change with all the teams are playing.
So the Philadelphia win over Arizona
Correct.
gives Philadelphia the division.
Correct.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, the common opponent. The Dallas lost to. Remember, Dallas lost to Arizona.
They lost to Arizona.
That's
Yep.
why the common opponent tiebreaker.
Yep.
Frisco stays in the 1 seed. Philadelphia is the 2. Detroit the 3. Atlanta the 4. Honest to God. How fucked up is this, though? But if Philadelphia wins the division and has to host the Rams versus Dallas having to go to Atlanta, I'd rather be in the fucking 5 hole than the 2 spot. I'd rather play Atlanta
Yeah, I'd rather
in
go
Atlanta
to Atlanta than
the Rams
trying to play the
going to
Rams.
Philly.
Yeah.
than hosting
Yeah, that could
the
be a
Rams
double-edged
in
sword for them,
Philadelphia.
actually.
That could be a double-edged sword. So it's Frisco, Philly, Detroit, Atlanta, Dallas, Green Bay, and Los Angeles. Nothing changes there. And nothing changed in the AFC either. Baltimore, Kansas City, Miami, Jacksonville, Denver, Cleveland, and Cincinnati.
How do you like that first round matchup of fucking Cleveland going down to Miami?
No, it's Cleveland going to Kansas City. Oh, Cleveland going down to Miami?
Yeah.
It doesn't.
No, I think Miami.
Miami will fucking smoke Joe Flacco. Round 1. Buffalo 9-7, still scratching and clawing down there. Las Vegas
We
at
got one
7-9.
more week, right?
Cincinnati
Yeah.
and Buffalo with the same record going into Week 18. Indy's sitting at 8-8. Houston's still at 8-8 too, not completely out
All
of
right,
it.
let's see what we got.
Hold on, I'm still talking here. God damn it. Seattle 7-9, they're out of it officially. Minnesota at 7-9, out of it officially. Tampa at 8-8 still has a shot going into Week 18. The Seahawks at the Cardinals.
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 Wow. Pittsburgh at Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Big game right here. Baltimore.
Tampa Bay at Carolina.
Tampa.
The Cleveland Browns at the Cincinnati Bengals. The battle for the shithole.
I think the Bengals are going to win that one.
I think the Bengals win that game
I
as
take
well.
Cleveland.
And Uncle Sam will not be barking.
No, he's still barking.
Go ahead.
Is he still? Oh, he is.
Because
Still
they're both
barking.
in. They're both in. That
Still
game doesn't make a
barking.
fucking difference
Let's
right
go.
now.
Lions.
Minnesota at Detroit. I will take the
Minnesota.
Lions as well. Bears at Packers.
Packers.
Okay, can I throw a theory here?
Yeah.
You know what?
The
Let's
Bears
say the
win
Bears.
that game.
Let's say the Bears.
Week 18, just to be what what the Lions were last year.
Okay.
Holy shit!
We took the Bears. Go ahead.
And it moved the Rams down.
I love
or
that.
up.
That's a good concept.
Oh, I like that too.
Houston at Indy.
Houston.
Kansas City at the Chargers.
KC.
Give me KC. Denver at Las Vegas.
Denver.
Denver.
Okay, Denver. Cute.
Wow.
Buffalo at Miami.
I would
Now, hold on.
take Miami this time.
Can I point something out to you guys here before we
Okay.
decide this game? So right now, because we handed Miami a loss to Baltimore and to we handed Miami 2 losses in the last 2 weeks. Right now, as it stands, this game, before we pick this game, Miami is 11-5, and Buffalo. This game decides who wins the division, the way we have it right now. If Buffalo wins, Buffalo goes to 10-7 and wins the division, and Miami drops into a wild card seed. If Miami wins, they win the division, and Buffalo's out. So this game right here, the way that we have it set up right now, is for the division. If Buffalo wins, Buffalo wins the division and drops Miami to the 6th seed, both at 10-7.
I have a hard time seeing seeing Miami lose that game twice. So I'm going to go with Miami.
Yeah, I do too.
Okay, we're both taking Miami. God, would that
Hard
be
to
fun,
sweep a
though.
division. I think that's what it's going to
No,
come down to.
I agree. I think it'd be fun.
Jets at New England.
Jets.
Jets.
Good thing Aaron Rodgers racking up all the meaningless wins. The Cardinals at the Saints.
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 Okay, for some reason, if the Saints win this game, Tampa wins the division, Atlanta kicks Green Bay out, takes a wild card spot, and New Orleans it doesn't matter. They're still out of it.
I don't think we're off. I don't think 2 South teams are going to get in. Wait, have we picked the Atlanta game yet, though? We haven't picked Atlanta,
We
right?
just picked it.
Just picked it.
Oh, we just
Just
did.
Saints
the
beat
Saints.
Atlanta.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Saints to beat Atlanta.
Which I do think is
That's
going to
right.
happen. Yeah, I mean, that's...
Okay.
Someone creeps up there, though. Someone we're missing. Oh, the Rams. No. Someone has to creep up.
We've eliminated the Packers now.
Yeah.
Packers are out.
With,
because-
okay,
because-
hold on. Let's change that around and see what it looks like then. If Green Bay wins, then if Green Bay beats Chicago Week 18 at Lambeau, then Tampa wins the division now, and Green Bay stays in the playoff picture.
Okay.
So who am I keeping? Bears?
Leave it on Green Bay for now because I think that's more realistic than 2 South teams getting in.
Okay.
As cute as we want the Bears to be,
You
I
never
think
know.
this is the way we should leave it. Philadelphia at the Giants.
Philly.
Philly.
I'm going Giants. Give me Tommy DeVito. Oh, wow. Uncle Sam's just going to have such a hard on under the table. Rams at Frisco.
Rams.
Frisco. Jacksonville at Tennessee.
I'm operating under the assumption that things are going to be righted with Jacksonville by this point.
As am I.
Yeah.
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville.
Dallas.
Dallas at Washington. I'm taking Dallas.
Dallas.
So our final Week 18 playoff picture looks like this. San Francisco takes the 1 seed and the bye. Philadelphia wins the division and has the 2 seed at 14-3. Detroit wins the division and has the 3 seed at 11-6. Tampa Bay wins the division and has the 4 seed at 9-8. Dallas, same record as Philadelphia, but in the 5 seed at 14-3. Green Bay, 6 seed at 10-7.
Which that Dallas Philly thing could flip flop. I believe.
Well,
one
no,
of those
the Arizona game has all
One
the
of those
weight.
teams fuck up, and it's going to flip flop.
Well, we gave Philadelphia.
Didn't we put
We had them
Dallas
both winning out.
undefeated?
Yeah.
Didn't we put we have both of them winning out, and they share the record, and the issue becomes Philly jumps them because of the win over the Cardinals.
Correct.
Because it's in this order.
Now
Obviously, it's-
Philadelphia loses to the Cardinals. Dallas is the
Philadelphia
division
loses
winner.
in general in
Yeah,
this scenario.
they lose one
It
game.
doesn't matter, but the issue is they're tied right now, and Dallas holds the tiebreaker. But then the tiebreaker changes with all the common opponents accounted for,
Right.
which in this case is the Cardinals. So for anyone that isn't aware, it goes number 1. Oh, that's my train of thought. Number 1, it goes record. Number 2, if you're tied with another team, which is typically the case in divisions, it goes head to head. Number
Right.
3 is your record within the division. So in this case,
Right.
they would have the same record within the division. They would both be 5-1, Dallas and Philly.
Correct.
Number 4 becomes your common opponents. And because Dallas lost to the Cardinals, that's where the wrench got thrown in.
Right.
Uh,
Which Philly has to play the Cardinals yet too.
AFC. Baltimore gets the 1 seed in the bye, winning the division at 13-4. Kansas City gets the 2 seed, winning the division at 12-5. Miami gets the 3 seed, winning the division at 11-6. Jacksonville in the 4th seed, winning the division at 10-7. Denver in the 5 seed at 11-6. Cleveland in the 6 seed at 10-7. Cincinnati sneaking in at 10-7 into that 7th seed. I don't see Cincinnati going 10-7. Like that Week 18 game. If Cleveland beats Cincinnati, Houston gets in. It's going to come right down. It's going to come right down to the wire on these 6 and 7 seeds in both of these. In both.
No,
AFC
I agree
and
with
NFC.
that. You're right.
All right, so if it ended today, the Rams at Philadelphia, pick it.
Eagles.
Eagles.
Take the Rams.
Wait, how did this just switch to the Packers? I thought we had Atlanta and what did we do? What just switched?
We changed. I took the executive
and Green
action
Bay.
to change the Bears in Green Bay.
Oh yeah,
That's more
I took Green Bay. Yeah.
It's more realistic. So
Yeah. I don't think Green Bay is dropping 2 games. That's tough. And if they drop a game, did we all pick Tampa? Or no, I'm sorry, we all picked Green Bay. If they drop a game, the last one they're going to drop is this weekend. And that'll effectively kill anything the Packers have going. That'll just
for the record, I think Atlanta's going to beat New Orleans Week 18. For the record. Anyways, Rams at Philadelphia. We're all saying Philadelphia, correct?
yes.
Okay. Green Bay at Detroit.
At that point, I think the Lions will be a lot better defensively.
I think the Lions will be as well, and I don't think it really fucking matters either way. I think they will mash fuck Green Bay. Ford Field will be
Dallas will
mash
obliterate Tampa.
Okay, so now we'd have
The Lions go to Philly, and then
Lions go to Philly,
get
Dallas
what
goes to
should
Frisco.
be. You'd get what should be. I don't know why they choked to the Cardinals. You'd get what should be the NFC Championship game in the second round of the playoffs in Dallas and San Francisco. And honestly, it's hard to pick against Dallas. Like in this scenario, we still have Dallas winning out. It's really hard to pick against Dallas, but they beat him the first time. The edge for me will always go to, I think San Francisco knows we want to control our own destiny this year. I guess the same principle applies. I know I'm off on a tangent right now, but just as it would be hard for San Francisco to beat Dallas twice, it's going to be hard for them to beat Philly twice too.
Yeah.
You know, one of those East teams might have a shot. Regardless, I'm picking San Francisco.
I'm picking San Francisco as well because Dak Prescott will choke on cock by then.
You said he's the MVP.
He's the MVP, but he always fucks up and chokes in the playoffs.
Okay.
And he will choke in San Francisco. What do you think?
I agree.
So you're taking Frisco to beat Dallas at home.
Yes.
Okay. Detroit at Philadelphia.
Philly.
Yeah, Philly.
So we have the Lions losing in.
They got to go on the road. Shitty fucking Philadelphia.
So then we have
I think
in the
Lions
fucking
beat
winter,
Philadelphia
playing outside
If the Lions return
with
to
a
form,
quarterback that can
Philadelphia was
run.
better last year than they are this year, and the Lions almost beat them last year.
if the Lions return to form, he's right about that. He's exactly right. If the Lions return to form, like I think they're going to, like I'm
Philadelphia
hoping,
left a lot of points on the field in that game too.
they
the
scored
Lions.
they scored like 30 or 40 points in that
I know
game.
that, but Philadelphia actually left points on the field today. Could have really blew them out, and they were kicking field goals.
Regardless, this is operating under 2 assumptions.
Okay.
Assumption number 1 is that Philly doesn't rebound, even though we
All
still
I'm
have
going
them
to
winning
say
out.
is Jared Goff outside of Philadelphia.
Jared Goff went outside in Green Bay last year, which is a harder place to play.
Philadelphia on that turf in Philadelphia.
Oh,
as
God,
bad as that
turf.
That life.
turf.
Huh?
Anyways.
Literally, Lambeau Field's it was 25 degrees and freezing on a Sunday night last year.
You know what? All I remember them is going down to Carolina when it was fucking 30 degrees, and the whole team fucking.
they had a little hiccup,
disappeared.
man.
You understand
That scares
every
me.
single time you talk about the Lions, every time without fail, you go back to the game in Carolina last year.
That game.
Every time.
It's every
Every
time.
time we talk
It's
about the
every
Lions.
time.
You know
Hey,
that
am I
time
wrong?
I usually
That-
have
Chuba
your
Hubbard
back.
fisted
game-
their ass
I
at
don't
Carolina
know.
last
Listen
year.
to me. That
every
game put
time.
an image in my head that I can't forget.
It seems like it. It seems like it.
When you got 2 average running backs went for over 100 yards on them.
AFC matchup. Cincinnati goes to Arrowhead.
Arrowhead. The Chiefs aren't losing at home to a backup quarterback.
Cleveland at Miami.
Miami.
I'm taking the Browns.
I'm taking Miami. Come on, dude. What makes you?
What?
Why do you think Joe Flacco is going to lead them on this deep playoff run?
Listen to me. I think the defense of the Browns could muddle fuck Miami.
With their entire secondary on IR now?
I
Come on.
I don't care. I think that they're good enough to go on the road and beat them. Flacco's got all the experience.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
You can say what the fuck you want to say. He's got all the experience in
Joe
the world.
Flacco's got all the
There's anybody that could go on the road and beat a team like that, it'll be Joe Flacco.
Yeah, so does Favre. Maybe he should come out of retirement and quarterback the motherfucking Packers and win a playoff game.
Prison.
So the same principle can be applied to their loss to the Rams is my problem. Flacco has all this experience, and he couldn't outduel a banged-up Rams team on the road a couple weeks ago, number one.
They got to get ass fucked, and then he'll fall off the wagon.
So, and number two, everything they do is Flacco goes as their defense does. He looked good last week, but it's because his defense was putting him in good positions. I don't think that the Browns' defense is going to somehow outplay Miami's offense on the road.
To me.
You know?
Holy shit.
It's fucking Joe Flacco. Are you kidding me?
Listen, the way that they looked, the way that Miami looked against fucking Tennessee,
Oh, here we go.
which they're going to be facing a better defense in Cleveland.
Guess what? If Philadelphia played the way they did at Dallas, they'll lose to the Rams.
Yeah. That's my thing. We can't
You
look
have to
at
be
it.
somewhat realistic.
I know where you're coming from, but you do this thing every once in a while where you cherry pick one game and you'll say if this is how they looked in that one game, then
Chuba Hubbard.
we can't compare by one game because consistently there's still. Have I seen some crazy signature win from Miami? No, but they have 3 opportunities to get one. They got Baltimore. They got the Buffalo Bills.
What scares me
they got
about
Dallas.
Miami is this, and I'm going to tell you right now, when it comes to the big game, it's like they just. For some reason, they haven't shown up.
I don't think Cleveland's the big game, though. I think the big game for them would be going to Arrowhead the next week.
I don't know. I think if you give Cleveland a chance to game plan, and I'm talking about Jim Schwartz, to game plan against Tua, I think he'd come up with a good game plan.
Oh, Jesus.
It's just my opinion.
Oh, God. Denver and
Nobody has to
Jacksonville.
listen to it. Just my opinion.
I genuinely think Denver here. If again, it's the same drill. If Denver's the team I think they are.
I think if Jacksonville's a little healthy at this point, these guys are a little healthy, and I think they could win this.
I'm taking Denver in the upset.
Okay.
I don't think right now it's an upset. I don't even think.
I don't think it's an upset either, but
Look, they have a better record. We have them with a better record. I don't think it's an upset. I think Jacksonville's just genuinely playing that.
I think
bad.
Denver overachieved to even
They
make
haven't
it as
had
far
it
as
all
they have.
year. Jacksonville has not shown it all year, other than like 2 or 3 games. They're just not the team that we thought they would be the entire year.
And they're so fucking hurt.
And they're banged up.
So then we would have Denver going to Baltimore.
Baltimore.
And then we would have Cleveland and or Miami going to Kansas City.
Kansas City.
Miami.
Man,
Kansas City.
Baltimore's winning the Super Bowl.
It's so tricky.
Patty Mahomes. Hard to go into fucking Arrowhead and beat Patty Mahomes.
Well,
Yeah.
Buffalo did it last week.
You know what?
Buffalo did it last week.
You know what? I'm gonna do it.
Green Bay's done it.
I think that
Buffalo's
this
done
is
it.
the year that there are quarterbacks that have gone into Kansas City and won, and I
Jared
think
Goff did it.
There's only one that I know of.
Jared Goff
in the
did it.
playoffs-
Only
in the
one that I
playoffs,
know of.
It's Joe Burrow in the
Burrow.
in the playoffs, and I think
And guess
Tua,
what? Joe Burrow's not in there.
I think Tua is capable with this offense is capable of going in there and beating the Chiefs. I think that the
I actually
Dolphins
think
totally
Cleveland would
team
have
to
a
beat
better
the Chiefs.
chance of going to fucking Arrowhead and beating them.
But you're telling me there's a chance either way.
Telling you there's a chance.
So then who did you take?
I'll entertain him right now. I'm going to entertain him right now. The winner of Cleveland
entertain
Miami,
me.
the winner of Cleveland Miami is going to go into Arrowhead,
And win.
even if it's Cleveland.
Okay. So then we have a Miami Baltimore AFC Championship.
Baltimore.
Possibly.
He just put an asterisk next to it.
Possibly.
You're
It'll be
high,
Cleveland,
dude.
Cleveland and Baltimore.
Leon said that you need to go.
I've smoked more
Fuck
weed and
Leon,
banged
Seth.
more queef.
Standing on a corner looking like a homeless guy, a fat homeless guy.
Anyways,
Baltimore.
what a great show this was today. So we have a Baltimore. Did we pick between Philly and San Francisco?
How did this go 2 hours? It shouldn't take this long.
Philly, San Francisco, at San Francisco.
San Francisco.
San Francisco.
Philly.
So we have a San Francisco, Baltimore Super Bowl.
Repeat of Christmas. Repeat of Super Bowl
Baltimore,
47.
Philly.
No, according to you, it's going to be Cleveland, Philly.
It'll be Baltimore, Philly. It'll be Baltimore.
Hate to
Philly
break
this
it to
year.
you, but Baltimore's winning that game.
Baltimore, Philly.
Baltimore's not beating San Francisco or
I
Philadelphia.
got the Baltimore.
See,
I got the Baltimore Ravens winning the Super Bowl.
where you're
Did you hear me?
Bruce,
Baltimore,
I think
Philly,
the Ravens
Baltimore
are more
Ravens.
talented. I think the Ravens have a better quarterback. I love their receiving core. I love the Ravens defense. It leads the league in sacks, but they just haven't played well
Brock Purdy.
at all.
Brock Purdy.
They haven't
Gotta
played well
MVP.
since they haven't played well since that fucking Lions.
Baltimore
game.
destroys NFC teams.
No, they destroyed one NFC team, the Lions.
No, they went on a run there where they were beating up every NFC team they played.
They didn't play Dallas, and they didn't play fucking Philadelphia.
Maybe not as much as they beat up on the Lions, but
Yeah. They didn't play San Francisco.
Anyways, do we have anything else to add before we end today's show?
It's Philadelphia. It's going to be San Francisco and Baltimore. That was the colors of the logo.
You know what? It's not 2 1 seeds. I'm telling you, it's not 2
I'm telling you, that's what it said.
if it is Baltimore and San Fran, then that
Frisco,
logo,
Miami, baby.
that logo shit is
Frisco,
way
Miami.
too accurate.
It's just dead on.
Frisco,
Yeah.
Miami.
Frisco,
Zolo,
Miami.
anything to add?
Interesting.
Yeah.
The last time Frisco Miami played, Dan Marino was the quarterback.
Oh, here comes Dark Lumen now.
I'm sorry?
You said Dan Marino, so they're gonna come back.
Yeah,
with Joe
Dan Marino.
Montana.
The last time they played, Dan Marino was
Okay.
quarterback, and they lost huge to the 49ers.
Zolo, anything to add?
I'm starving.
Bruce, anything to add?
No, I'm starving as
You
well.
got anything?
No.
Leon said that you got to go,
I'm
and
sorry?
he's taking your spot.
You can put him out here. I'll leave. I won't come back. Fucking replace
I
me
knew
right
he
now.
was
I
gonna
won't come
say
back.
that.
I
You
won't
want me
give
to,
a
you want me to
fuck.
fire you on
You think
air?
I give a fuck?
You don't give a fuck.
No, I don't.
If Leon was in your chair, you would.
He can
Holy
have
shit,
my
you're gonna get
fucking
fired
chair.
You wouldn't be the
You want
slightest
Leon
bit
here?
jealous.
Leon, make sure you're here Monday morning or Monday afternoon at 4:30.
He works at that time. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Tip Balls Podcast. Make sure to follow our socials, Instagram and Twitter at Tip Balls, TikTok at Tip Balls Podcast. If you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple Music, check us out on YouTube. Remember to subscribe and ring the bell so you know when we go live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday between 4:30 and 5. Thank you so much for listening. You guys will hear from us on Monday. Enjoy a big weekend of football.